whenever there's someone new. Can't tell if I should block them or just let them through. The moments we're together, everything is cool. But at this point in life, I don't know what to do. I gotta know when to stay and when I should go. Learned my lesson a while ago. Where I'll end up, nobody knows. Should take it slow, move with caution along this road. Could be dangerous, I don't know. But at this time, I'm just trying to pick up the vibe. I feel like it feels right this time. Maybe not, I can't quite decide. But at this time, maybe I should just live my life. Let it go and enjoy the ride. Maybe not, I can't quite decide. Keep calm when the wind blows. I know everything gonna work out, so I aim up high when it feels low. I know it's hard to trust someone these days, and I know I go overboard when I think about all these things. Thoughts inside my brain, try to keep it sane. I gotta know when to stay and when I should go. Learned my lesson a while ago. Where I'll end up, nobody knows. Should take it slow, move with caution along this road. Could be dangerous, I don't know. But at this time, I'm just trying to pick up the vibe. I feel like it feels right this time. Maybe not, I can't quite decide. But at this time, maybe I should just live my life. Let it go and enjoy the ride. Maybe not, I can't quite decide. But at this time, I'm just trying to pick up the vibe. I feel like it feels right this time. Maybe not, I can't quite decide. But at this time, maybe I should just live my life. Let it go and enjoy the ride. Maybe not, I can't quite decide. But at this time, pick up the vibe. Feels right this time. I can't decide. But at this time, just live my life. Enjoy the ride. But at this time, I'm just trying to pick up the vibe. I feel like it feels right this time. Maybe not, I can't quite decide. But at this time, maybe I should just live my life. Let it go and enjoy the ride. Maybe not, I can't quite decide.
Why did you do it?
I feel like I'm in the ICU. Every time I see you, I'm trying my best to never be like you. Dear hate, why you bring me down? Everything is all good till you come around. I've been trying to dodge you when you in town, but you know these streets and I get knocked down every time that you hit me. Man, I've been feeling so sickly, broken open. I've been hoping one day that you'll just go away, cause I can't take this no more. With you in my life, I'm so torn. I feel like breaking down. Evade this cloud that you made over my head, raining down. Whoa, I get so lost inside your mess. Yes, you know it's true. And every time that we meet up, I get so sick, like I got the flu. And I know this ain't good for my mental health. I just fall apart every time that we meet up. It just breaks my heart. Yeah, I feel like I'm in the ICU. Every time I see you, I'm trying my best to never be like you. Dear jealousy, why you come around? When you talk, I really hate the sound. Make me blind to the things in life that I should be thankful for, and somehow you just show up. It really makes me sick. Relationships are the worst with you, and you in the view, it's hard to live true. I don't know what to do with. It's difficult, all these things that I try to cope with every day got me losing hope. Always drag me down when I try to stay afloat, wishing you would just let me go. Always feeling like I'm out of control, don't know when and I don't know how, but I swear that I'll get you out of my soul. Cause I know this ain't good for my mental health. I just fall apart every time that we meet up. It just breaks my heart. I feel like I'm in the ICU. Every time I see you, I'm trying my best to never be like you. I feel like I'm in the ICU. Every time I see you.
Hello everybody, I'm Thomas and welcome back to another Solo Gaming Sunday, where today I'm gonna be trying out GURPS, which stands for Generic Universal Role-Playing System, which is a RPG I've been wanting to try for a while now. And today is a tier 2 YouTube member decided stream. And a while back, Dallas had mentioned trying this out, so I've been slowly learning it, and that's what was decided on for today, which, as you can see from the thumbnail and the title and kind of my screen, I'm gonna be doing a little bit of an interesting setting. I think it's gonna be a very different type of playthrough than my normal RPG playthroughs. I'm also very still new to this system. I've only really played it this first time this last weekend. And while it seems, at least playing it, it's not too crazy, at least with the basic rules, but we'll get all that here soon. But hope everybody's doing good. Hope everybody had a good last, I guess, 2 weeks, because I didn't stream last weekend, so I hope you had a good Thanksgiving. I know I certainly did. Ate a lot of good food, all that good stuff. Hello there, Rob and Insectnophobia and Dallas. My prayers have been answered. Did you get the basic set already? Kind of. I bought the PDF for the characters, because there's like multiple books, right, for the basic set. And that's one thing, is like I've been learning there's a lot of stuff for this game. There's so many like expansions and books and rules, but it's cool because you could just, you know, pick what you want to use. And yeah, so it's there's a lot, which is cool. I mean, I think I'm gonna have fun playing this, and I've been having fun learning it and creating characters. But yeah, so no, I mean, at least today I'll mainly be using just the rules from GURPS Lite, but then I did use some of the stuff from the basic set to create my characters. So yeah, I'm trying to think what's new with me. I've been, let's see, what games have I been playing? I'll start there. I've been actually getting a chance. It's been nice, especially this past week. I've been actually getting a chance to play some IST, good old Intergalactic Space Trader, with my fancy site iStow. I've been working on that. I pushed a big update to iStow Friday, I think. Friday afternoon, morning. Yeah. And it's the biggest update so far, version 0.9. I wanted to be done with it fully before December. I'm like a week behind schedule. So my plan is by the end of this upcoming week to push version 1.0, which pretty much version 1.0 probably isn't going to have much different. It's just going to be a lot of UI fixes, design tweaks, just making it look nicer, work a little bit better. I don't really plan on adding any major features for this last version. Not that I won't ever update it again, but I just want to make it look as good as I can. Yeah, I've been playing that this last week, having some mixed results. Some runs would go really well, others would just fall apart immediately because of space pirates. I've also I got nabbed a few times for having improper paperwork at customs. There was one planet where I encountered a I think it was it was abandoned cargo outside the planet, and it had something, nothing too, no, it had like no, it had alcohol on it, I think. And then I grabbed the alcohol, and then I went to the planet, and then alcohol was illegal there. So then I had to go through illegal customs, and then they fined me like a crazy amount, and I had to basically just restart. But yeah, I've been having fun playing iStow, or IST, using iStow. Yeah, I'm trying to, right now, I'm just trying to do a playthrough where I get all the awards. That's my current goal. But I don't know if I really talked about this much, but I feel like IST is, because it doesn't really have any objectives and it's pretty open-ended, the awards offer, I think, a good kind of like baseline thing to try for. But I feel like IST would be a great game to come up with like fun, dumb little challenges to try and see how that goes. Like one challenge I want to try doing with IST is like doing a challenge where you don't buy any goods, so you can only gain money through either investments or just like finding stuff in abandoned cargo and doing stuff with like blips, essentially. And then you can sell goods you just can't buy any goods. I think that would be fun. Or like trying to do like a drug dealing one where you only buy and sell like illegal goods, and seeing how far you can get doing that. Just trying to get to like X amount of credits. I feel like there's a lot of cool little like challenges you could do with IST. But yeah, I've been having fun playing that a bit. For a while, I had some Slay the Spire set up on my table because whenever I'm not like, I don't know, sometimes I'll just leave a game set up on my table and just play a little bit every now and again throughout the day, or play like an hour in the evening and like a half hour here and there. So I Slay the Spire set up, and that was pretty fun. I've been trying to grind through the Ascension levels on that. I think I'm currently on Ascension like 8 or 9, so I'm getting up there. And I had such a good run going the other day, and I completely just ruined it. I was playing as the Watchers, who I mainly play as because they're my favorite character. I had such a good run going with, there was this card, kind of blanking on the name now, but it's a rare Watcher card that it costs X amount of energy. However much energy you spend on it, you add +1 cubes to the card. So you play it for 2 energy, you add 3 cubes to the card, and each cube you place makes your basic strikes do an extra damage. And so I was building like my whole thing around that because I had the target dummy relic, which makes your strikes do more. I was trying to upgrade my strikes, trying to go into wrath form a lot, and it was going so good. And then I decided, because I'm playing on the Ascension levels, we have to go try to get the keys that add extra challenges, and one of the challenges is a burning elite. And I thought I could take on a burning elite, and it was the gremlin leader, and they whooped me. I guess I just didn't have enough AoE, or I forget exactly what happened, but it was such a bummer because it was such a fun and good run where I had like the great card, a great relic to go with it, start to get a good deck of cards for it, and then it all just fell apart. Campaigns is good for answering very specific problems in more detail in combat, but it's not strictly needed for your purposes yet. Okay. Good to know. Yeah, it was definitely learning a lot. I don't know. I'll maybe have to remember. If I remember, I'll put this in the description. But there was, after the stream, but there was one YouTuber I was watching. I think you even maybe posted their video. It was like Chris Nomad or something. And they were just like, had the best videos. So I watched through a ton of their videos. I was also watching their videos on, because they like co-designed or co-authored like the Foundry module that I'll be using here today. They had tutorials for using this software called GCS, which stands for GURPS Character Sheet, which is a really, really nice program for creating characters super easily. And then you can easily import them right into Foundry with the module. So it all works very seamlessly, because you can see this character sheet, there's kind of a lot going on, and character creation there's a lot to it, but it's cool because there's so many options and you can kind of pick and choose. And like I said, I'm just using kind of stuff from like GURPS Lite and some stuff from the basic set for like skills and advantages. But there's just so much out there. So I'm glad to be finally dipping my toes, but we'll see how it goes. I'm trying to think what other. Those are the main board games I've been playing. Like RPGs, yeah, I've just been playing IST. Yeah, I don't know what else. I've been playing a good amount of RimWorld again. I've been back on another RimWorld kick, so I've been playing that, which is very, very fun. I keep losing. I think last time I talked about it, I mentioned I have a whiteboard over here that's grown to many more names. I don't know if you can really see that, but I write the colony names and the colonist names, just to try to motivate me to not let them die as easily, and like, I don't know, kind of keep track of all of the colonies I've went through. I'm at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm on my 7th colony. And there's probably a couple I didn't write down because I was just lazy, which they died anyway, so I guess it didn't really matter. But RimWorld's so fun. I just want to get a win on the setting I'm playing on, which is the classic Cassandra storyteller, strive to survive difficulty on commitment mode, meaning I can't save and reload. Like, the game saves when I quit out of it, but I can't, like, if I die, go back and save. Once you're kind of just along for the ride, which I think commitment mode is, it just adds to it. Like, I don't know, it adds to the story. Like, part of the stories are just bad things happen, and you know, I want to just reload every time something bad happens. I feel like that kind of takes away from it, because I don't know, RimWorld is kind of like a story, I don't want to say like an RPG, but it's kind of like that. You have like storytellers that throw random events, you got colonists, and it's pretty cool. Still been playing a bit of Fortnite. Yeah. Oh, I got a new mic. Test, test. Hopefully this sounds good. Because I've been, as I've been getting into the streaming world, I'm pretty good with computers and tech, but audio and video is like a whole separate part of tech. And it's just an area I do not have a lot of expertise with. So I've had a bunch of audio issues with my mic, and I definitely think also I'm on a Mac. I think sometimes that throws in extra wrinkles into like certain software working, how it should, or stuff like that. So I started out with one microphone that I've been using pretty much since the start of the channel. And then earlier this year, I got a new one that I used for a little bit. Then I started having issues with it. And I was like back and forth with their support for so long. And ultimately, I couldn't get it resolved. It was just frustrating, because that was kind of an expensive mic. So here I am on mic number 3, which is actually a decent amount cheaper than my last one. This one is because the past 2 have been USB mics, but I finally took the plunge, which I should have done with my last mic, and went down getting an XLR mic. So this is a not super fancy Elgato XLR mic. I had to get a little, blanking on the name, but an interface that I can actually plug the XLR cable into, and then plug that into my computer with USB. But testing it, I mean, I use a number of Elgato products. I have like a Stream Deck. My previous first USB mic that I really did like was an Elgato. I use also, Elgato makes like stream cards, which I use for like when I have my overcam set up, like that uses an Elgato like capture card. When I got my Switch hooked up for that one stream, like that was Elgato. So I've been using their stuff a lot for streaming, and I've not really had any issues. So we'll see how good this mic goes. Hopefully it goes good, and then I now have all the stuff kind of set up, so whenever down the road I want to like upgrade to like a really nice XLR mic, I kind of already have some of the equipment and cables and whatnot. I just have to actually like replace the mic, but I think this one sounds good. I mean, I was doing testing over this last weekend when I got it. I think it sounds pretty solid. I was noticing some weird stuff. Like the main issue I was having with my last mic was like a popping / crackling noise. And I thought I heard it with this a little bit, but I was like, maybe that's just like I don't have like compressor dial in or whatever. So let me know if my mic sounds terrible. Also, I don't know, I'll re-listen to the VOD after and see how it sounds. But I mean, hopefully, I mean, it sounds good, but I don't know if there'll be any audio issues along the way. Hello there, Dean. Welcome on in. Hope you're doing good. A little tinny. Like it sounds like metal. Okay. Boy, that's, I mean, it's good feedback. I don't know what to do with that, but basically, so I do have some effects going on this mic. So it's running through Elgato's software called Elgato Wavelink. And in that you can apply effects. So I have like a noise, not suppressor, but like it takes out like background noise. I also have an EQ thing set up and a compressor on it, but did some quick audio testing over the weekend. I was like, I think I got it in, but it's gonna be something I probably will over time just have to do a stream, hear how it sounds, dial it in, do another stream, and I'll just hopefully get like better over time. But I don't know. Put headphones on, it's not too bad. One thing that's so interesting to me how different stuff can sound with headphones versus speakers, especially like background music. It's just, I mean, obviously like the music's right in your ears, so I get it. Like, you know, with headphones on, you can hear stuff easier. But it's like I have a nice pair of desktop speakers, nothing too crazy because that's a thing that you can go spend crazy amount of money on, but a pretty decent pair of desktop speakers. And it's like, yeah, I'll be listening to like someone stream. And like people in the chat be like, their streamer, turn down the music, it's too loud. And I'm like, I can't even hear it. And I'll put headphones on. It's like, it's crazy how much better you can hear things. And I'm like, I bet a lot of these people that are complaining about the music being too loud don't have headphones in. And then other people probably do have headphones in. They're like, no, music's fine. So it's kind of interesting. But yeah, I did testing with headphones on. So I guess I haven't heard what it sounds like through speakers. So I'll have to do that too. But hopefully this one works out and I can just tweak it along the way and maybe get some little accessories for like a pop guard. And I think I forget what the name of it is, but you can get like a little like kind of cage holder for this. So it's like a shock absorber type thing. So I might have to get one of those at some point, but I don't think like slamming on my desk is something I really do too much. I don't think I get too heated at playing, you know, board games and tabletop games, but you never know. Yeah. I'm trying to think what else. There's nothing else I really need to ramble about. Yeah, that's all I really got. So, well, yeah, no, that's. I'm trying to think of any other games I've been playing that I want to like ramble about. I've been still learning Traveler. I want to get to that. Probably not gonna get to that super soon. I kind of put that on the back burner to learn GURPS, because as much as I want to learn Traveler, I also want to learn GURPS and like 30 other RPGs that I still have on a long list, but I'm slowly getting through them. I was looking at the list the other day and updating it, and I was like, okay, I've actually gotten through a lot of these. I was like, okay, Dragonbane done, this one done, this one done. So I'm glad I'm getting to try more, because it's definitely, I really enjoy tabletop RPGs, and you know, the more I've been playing them, the more I realize what I like in systems and what I don't like in systems. And yeah, it's very cool just to see how games do different things, and character creation. Like this game does character creation very in an interesting way. Yeah, it's fun though. I obviously enjoy it. I need 2 more followers. I do. Yeah, if you're on Twitch, you haven't followed yet, drop me a follow. I'm 2 followers away from 50. It's crazy. Or if you're on YouTube and haven't followed on Twitch yet, we're getting close. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I put. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think what else is really going on. That's pretty much it. I haven't really been watching any good shows recently. I finished JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Golden Wind. I've been rewatching that, and I kind of started Stone Ocean, but I haven't been watching too much of that. Just been watching a lot. I used to watch a lot of like streams. Watch a lot of streaming on YouTube. Normally I just have it on and like, because I'm at my desk doing stuff a lot throughout the day, so I just normally have it on like a second monitor, and I'm just kind of have it on in the background. Most of the time I'm not like actively watching it. But that's just me. But yeah. All right, so what we can start hopping into this, because this is gonna be, like I said, it's gonna be a very different stream. Let me turn on some other music. I don't know what music would work good for this, but yeah. So before we hop into this, I will give a quick disclaimer that I usually come pretty prepared for these streams, but today will be one that I didn't become prepared for, but I feel like this game I don't know that well. I feel like I understand the rules pretty easily, but it might be a bit of a slower going playthrough today. And also it's going to be a very different style playthrough with how I have a kind of story and characters set up. It's going to be very, very different from any other playthroughs I've really done before. So it might be awesome. It might be terrible. We'll probably be somewhere in between. But yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there. It's going to be a little bit different of a playthrough going for today. Oh, thank you for the follow there, JJJ Dragon. We're 1 away. Look at that. Someone who's going to be the one that gets me to 50. Could be you. I'll write you on my whiteboard. Okay, maybe I won't, or maybe I will. Who knows? You gotta follow to find out. Oh, yeah. The only quibble with that TL. Yeah, the TL is something that was just set by default, I think. I don't know if I can change that. I probably need to change it on GCS. That was a good catch, but yeah. That timeline or the tech level is probably a bit off. So before I get into GURPS, I'll quickly go over my plan for today. So I've been reading through GURPS, and I was like, okay, this game seems like a lot of fun, and it's called Generic Universal Roleplay System. Generic. So I've heard that you can really use this system to play anything. Any system, any setting you want. You want to play Wild West, you can do that. You want to play Star Wars, you can do that. You want to play Marvel characters, you can do that. It really is flexible. And then when I was reading through it, I was like, wow, this looks like it really could be like that. So very, very cool. And I was testing over the weekend with a kind of a generic like fantasy character, and it worked pretty well. But I was like, I kind of want to see, what this system can really do. Like how, if it's really that generic, let's do like a setting I've never done, because I've played a bunch of fantasy games before, and I've played my fair share of sci-fi games before, but I haven't really done anything modern day. So that's what I wanted to do today. I picked out a specific setting and character that I wanted to play, and that is I'll be playing as Dr. Heinz Doofenshmirtz. And from the setting of the show Phineas and Ferb. So, a little bit of context, if you don't know what Phineas and Ferb is, it is a cartoon show on Disney Channel that came out years ago. And it's a pretty charming show. It's one that I liked when I was younger. And it's still a great show. I don't personally watch it anymore. I actually was watching it a bit this last weekend to kind of prep. But in the show, it kind of follows a pretty basic formula for an episode, where it follows these two characters, Phineas and Ferb, and it's during summer, and they're bored and trying to figure out something to do. And they're also like geniuses. Not geniuses, but they can like do whatever. They can do anything. It's a show, so like cartoon logic applies very heavily here. And so they're bored. And then one of them comes up with an idea, and Phineas says, "Ferb, I know what we're gonna do today." And they also have a pet platypus named Perry the Platypus, who's actually a secret agent for a organization known as the OW something. It stands for Organization Without a Cool Acronym. I think that's what it stands for. But anyway, it's Perry is Agent P, secret agent. And at some point in the show, Perry disappears. And someone goes, "Hey, where's Perry?" She cuts to Perry going through some tubes, hidden tubes, going to a secret base, getting his mission to stop Dr. Doofenshmirtz in his latest scheme. And so Dr. Doof, he always has some scheme going on. It seems like, as I was watching it, a lot of his schemes are just to make money, surprisingly. But I think his general thing he wants to do is take over the tri-state areas where this show kind of takes place. So he's most of the time trying to just make money, do like some get rich quick schemes. Sometimes he's just trying to get revenge. You know, he had a pretty lonely and sad childhood, so sometimes he's just trying to fight back at people. And other times he doesn't even know what he's doing. So he's a pretty stereotypical villain, but he's a bit goofy. So he always has a plan to stop Perry. Like, he knows Perry's going to show up to try to stop him. And at some point, Perry always shows up and he stops him. He always has a way to capture him, because then Dr. Doof always has to monologue. He has to give some big monologue of his scheme and why he's doing it to Perry the Platypus. And then at that point, at some point, Perry escapes and always takes down Dr. Doof and ends his scheme of whatever he was doing. While this is also going on with Perry and Dr. Doof, Phineas and Ferb are building some crazy thing or doing some crazy thing. Their sister is always trying to get them in trouble with their mom, and whatever they're doing always disappears before the mom can see it. And it always ends up that while Perry is taking down Dr. Doofenshmirtz, either in the process of that happening or the result of whatever Perry does to stop Dr. Doof usually ends up destroying whatever Phineas and Ferb do. Now, I'll get to examples here so you can see. And then at some point, Dr. Doof would yell, "Curse you, Perry the Platypus." And then afterwards, Perry shows back up with Phineas and Ferb after the chaos has calmed down, and they say, "Oh, there you are, Perry." And that's the show. It's like they would do like 10-minute episodes. That's the formula for pretty much every episode. And so I thought it would be kind of a fun way to do an RPG where I kind of have this outline. Stuff will differ from it, but at the end of the day, I'm going to be playing in a cartoon show, so it's going to follow the same formula every time. I'm going to be using Mythic to kind of help dictate random stuff that can happen along the way and help make decisions. And yeah, that's going to be kind of what I'm doing today. So very, very different from what I'm normally doing. A bit more formulaic, but I also think there's a lot of fun that could be had about like thinking, what am I as Dr. Doof up to today? Who am I getting revenge on? I got to build a crazy thing. And then it would be fun to also try to like kind of figure out like the whole show. Like, okay, what are Phineas and Ferb up to while Dr. Doof is doing this? And then however Perry and Dr. Doof fight, how does that wipe out whatever Phineas and Ferb are doing? and then that would be kind of like a fun thing to try. So that's my goal for today. Like I said, very different from my normal stuff. We'll see how it goes, but I think it was a fun idea. And the main reason I'm also playing this character is it's kind of an homage to a character that I played back in college. So my one buddy Kartik, who's a mod on the channel, as I've done a video with him before. I went to the same college as him, and he GM'd a superhero D&D 5th edition campaign for one summer, and let us basically play whatever characters we wanted. And for some reason at the time, I thought it would be fun to play Dr. Doofenshmirtz, mainly because he has all these crazy contraptions. He also names them Innator. So it would be like, this is the wood gone Innator, this is the flame Innator. So I was like, that would be like a fun thing, as I could just have all these Innators. But I'm like playing as this cartoon supervillain while I'm also playing with like the other characters in that campaign were like Thanos. I think someone was Rick Sanchez, or maybe Pickle Rick specifically. I don't remember who one was like a character from Mega Man. It was like a virus. It was something .exe was their name. I'm probably forgetting about a couple others. I think Deadpool was maybe there. I forget. So it was it was superheroes, but for some reason I wanted to play Dr. Doof, and that was a lot of fun. It was a fun little campaign we did. And so I thought it would be fun to kind of resurrect Dr. Doof in a different system and see how this goes. So that was kind of one of the reasonings behind why specifically I chose this character and this idea. But then the more I thought about it, I was like, oh, this could be fun to try to, like, I don't know, kind of come up with the episodes on the fly and see how that goes. There's also a little old RPG called Toon, which follows cartoon logic. Maybe SJC, actually? Wait, SJC? Was that Steve Jackson Games? Might be. Oh, okay. Yeah, I have heard of Toon. I think at one point I was looking up like RPGs that could do a like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure type playthrough, and I feel like Toon is how I came across that. I came across it somehow at some point. I was probably, I was on Reddit or something looking for something. So yeah, hello there, Oblique. Happy Sunday. Hope you're doing good. We were just listening to some Oblique earlier. It's my intro music. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing today. So I have created Dr. Doofenshmirtz and Perry the Platypus as GURPS characters. And we're kind of just going to be playing out different episodes. And like I said, I'm going to be kind of using Mythic along the way to figure out what Dr. Doof will be up to. We can use some of the meaning tables to get some like vague ideas that we can kind of interpret, using that Mythic for the questions and all that stuff. So yeah, it should be a good time, I think, I hope. So let me, to the best of my ability, go over GURPS. What is GURPS? And like I said, I am still very, very new to this. I've only played it for the first time this last weekend, so my explanation may not be the best or most thorough. And GURPS stands for the Generic Universal Roleplay System. You can play anything with it, and I think you really, truly can. I mean, we'll see how today goes, but I mean, I imagine this setting isn't too crazy for some of the stuff that people have done with GURPS. But it's an RPG, and it's a very extensive RPG. There are many, many, many books and editions and expansions. It's kind of crazy. And so Dallas, who was the one that originally recommended me try this, said that there is a version of GURPS called GURPS Lite, which is kind of like what it sounds. I think it's let me see. It's a 34-page PDF. It's free. And it's kind of like what it sounds like. It's just like a simplified version of GURPS, where you just have a very condensed, not too many rules, not too many stuff for character creation, just to kind of get you going, which is what I read through in preparation for this and kind of learned. And yeah, there is kind of a basic set, and I did use some character creation stuff from the basic set, but I'm not going to be using really any rules from it, I don't think. We'll see. I don't know, unless some of these like skills and advantages have stuff that happens with. But at the end of the day, so you're playing a character. So let's go over kind of character creation, which I'm pulling the PDF up to kind of explain it the best. So character creation works on a really interesting system where you get a number of points for your character, which I think I like. As much as I love having dice in RPGs, I don't love them for character creation because it could be, some people really like that. And I know old style, D&D and stuff is all about rolling stats, and that's just what your character is. If they suck at strength, they suck at strength, and you can't make a warrior now. And that's just how it has to be. And I think that's fine, but I don't know, the more I play RPGs, the more it's like I kind of want control over the character that I'll be playing. Now, I like, random tables and whatnot, but like rolling dice for stats and health, I never was a huge fan of. And this doesn't have any of that. It has just points. You have X amount of points. The number of points you have is up to your DM. Some ranges they have is like an ordinary folk is 20 to 50 points. Competent is like 50 to 75. Heroic is 100 to 200. Larger than life is 200 to 300 points. 300 to 500 points is legendary, and it just keeps going up. I mean, you can have characters with a crazy amount of stuff, and they're just going to have kind of cost a lot of points. So Dr. Doof is a 150 point character. Perry the Platypus, I didn't set any point values. I kind of just created the characters, and that was that, because I didn't want them to be equal. Dr. Doof always loses to Perry the Platypus, and that's how it's going to be when I play. So Perry has a lot more skills and better stats, and it's just like, I could show you, it's just a better, I won 116 over, so he almost 116 points higher than Dr. Doofenshmirtz. But when you're creating a character, I know this looks very intimidating because there definitely is a lot going on, but this system is very in depth, and I like it a lot. At least so far, what I've seen of it. Like I said, I haven't really played it. But yeah, you assign these points to a couple different areas. So you have attributes, which are standard RPG attributes. You got strength, dexterity, intelligence, health. They all start at 10, and then you can spend points to increase them. You get points back if you decrease them, and you can make them whatever you want. Different stats cost different amounts to increase. So I think like since dexterity is a more widely used stat, like it costs more to increase than say your health. Something like that. I don't know the exact numbers. Like I said, I'm pretty new to this, but I do know that not all of these attributes are created equally, and increasing some of them is cheaper than increasing others. So you can spend points on increasing your stats. You can spend points on skills, and then you can spend points on what's called advantages and disadvantages. Skills, it's kind of like what it sounds like. I'll make this the tabbed sheet. I like the tabbed sheet a little bit better. I forgot that's a thing. And skills is just your skills. It's different things that aren't your attributes that your character is specifically good at, and then you can apply points to increase your, I guess, like proficiency in the skill, and just essentially increase your chance of succeeding whenever you have to roll to do anything with the skill. And skills are predefined. I mean, I'm sure you could, with all these things, you can come up with your own stuff, but these were all ones that just were in the basic set and GURPS Lite. Then the last thing you can spend points on, which is usually a big chunk of them, is the advantages and disadvantages. So advantages are good abilities or just general benefits to your character. Disadvantages are the opposite. And what's cool is that you can, depending on what your game master says, you can take a number of disadvantages. So for Dr. Doof, I just went with negative 50 points of disadvantages. Normally, I think the recommended thing is like, don't go more than 50% total. So like, since I spent 150 points, that maybe I shouldn't go more than 75 points in disadvantages. But it's pretty cool because A, you get more points to spend, but then you also get some fun disadvantages that your character can you can role play for, and that you can come into effects for skill stuff. So, for Dr. Doof, disadvantages, he has an arch enemy, Perry the Platypus, and he's a bit of a klutz, and he gets a -1 point because he has some monologue to Perry the Platypus, and he's overconfident. But then also there are advantages, which are good things. So gadgeteer is something that Dr. Doof has, or comfortable wealth, that he starts with more money than normal character would, because he has an entire tower here for himself. So he's got quite a bit of money. He always has money for his schemes, even though the schemes a lot of the times are for him to try to get rich. So I don't know. But that's essentially character creation. Like, there's a lot of stuff going on here, but at the end of the day, that's pretty much it. You can also spend points to increase like your secondary attributes up here. So will and fright check, different things that'll come up for different checks. And then you have perception, vision, hearing, touch, smell, all that stuff. You can increase, I think, your health points. You also have another kind of meta currency called fatigue points, which I think normally come into play during combat. You can spend fatigue points to do certain what are called maneuvers, I believe. I don't a lot of this stuff I'm probably not going to be messing with today, and combat probably won't be too crazy. That really is kind of character creation. Now, as you can see, and we go back to the full sheet, there's a lot of stuff going on in this character sheet. And there is kind of a lot of math to knowing like how many points it takes to increase basic attributes, and same with skill level. Like, the more there's like a certain interval that the more you spend points, like it increases at a certain rate. There's a kind of a good amount of math and stuff that goes into character creation. And so someone out there made this great little program called GCS, which stands for GURPS Character Sheet. There also is another one called like GURPS Character Creator, GCC, I think, which is made by the Steve Jackson Gaming Company, the company that makes this game. But GCS, as far as I know, is like a fan-made third-party bit of software. And as it just kind of like it sounds, it's a very great little piece of software that allows you to create characters, and it does a lot of the stuff for you, and it just has the skills right there for you to just click and drag, and it'll calculate all this for you. And then what's great is that I can then export from GCS right into this Foundry module, this fancy little import button up here. So while a lot of this looks confusing, I mean, I didn't have to do too much of it. I just, spend points on basic attributes, added my skills and advantages and disadvantages. The rest of it was kind of done on its own, and I'm gonna be honest, a lot of it I will not be using today. I'm gonna be keeping it pretty chill, pretty rules light, because I read GURPS light, so there's not too many rules to it, really. But yeah, so that's kind of character creation. You have a number of points to spend. You can have a certain amount of disadvantage points, and you just go crazy spending it on attributes, skills, and advantages/disadvantages. Great. So that's character creation. How does the game actually play? Well, it uses a 3d6 system that it's completely d6 based, first off, which I think is interesting. I mean, I normally like using different type of dice, but I think it's fine. And specifically, most skill checks are a 3d6 check. So let me clear chat. There's just a bunch of random import stuff in there. And let me, I'll just do a skill check. So over on my skills, like where it's the yellow, that means I can click and it will do a check. So let me do a check for public speaking. So my public speaking skill level is 16. So I need to roll under a 16 with my skill check. And look at that, I got a 9, made it by 7. And that's a success. Skill checks are pretty straightforward. You have a level for your attacks. They essentially work the same. If I'm trying to do a punch, okay, its a level is 10. That means I gotta roll under 10. Oh no, I rolled an 11, so I failed, missed by 1. Dang, let me do it again. Let me punch again. See if I can actually succeed here. 10, so if you meet it, you beat it. And what's cool is there's Foundry always has some nice automation, so I can click here to roll damage, which for this is just 1d6, but I did 5 points of damage. Oh, it's 1d6 minus 4, so I did 1 point of damage. And then what's really nice is I can click and drag this damage and it will just apply it. So if I got Perry the Platypus over here, click and drag that to Perry, it brings up this big options, and now he has -2 health. Okay, it should just be -1, but maybe I did something wrong, but it's a thing you can do. Or no, it should have 11. Oh, that was fatigue points is what's being displayed above. That's confusing. Okay, I didn't know that. So that's how skill checks work. It's really pretty straightforward. Character creation is definitely the most, I think, confusing part of this, but it's not too bad. Some disadvantages you have CR for, which I think just stands for challenge rating. I'm going to assume, I don't actually know. There's kind of a lot of acronyms in this game. Some of them, I'm not going to be able to remember all of them, but I'll just wing it if I don't know what it is. But like this overconfidence disadvantage has a CR of 12. So anytime I am in a spot where I can maybe become overconfident, I have to roll to see, do I let my overconfidence, you know, does it win? Does it kind of take over? And no, it doesn't. And so some of these disadvantages have different rolls that I can make for that, but they're all pretty much the same. It's a roll under system, rolling with 3d6. You know, if I'm trying to do a vision check, vision is 11, rolling 3d6, trying to roll under 11. Got a 12, that's a fail. It's really pretty straightforward, I think. I will say, so Foundry automatically does this over here, where it kind of outputs how much you made it by or how much you missed by. And that's pretty relevant in this game, mainly for contests. So if you're trying to do like a, you know, dexterity contest, there's a gun on the ground and you're both leaping for it. So you would both do a dexterity check. There's 2 types of contests you could do. You could do what's called a quick contest, and then there's like a long contest. But a quick contest is like something that happens like in a second. We're just doing one roll, is both people would roll. And I don't think it even has to be the same stat, but it's just you're comparing to see who, it's like the margin of success, who has the larger margin of success. So that's kind of how that works, is you would just kind of compare the made it by numbers, and who's ever is better is the successful person in that contest. That's all of that. I'm trying to think what else I need to go over. I guess we can go over combat. So combat is not too crazy. Once again, I am playing with the rules, the GURPS light. So combat is pretty straightforward, and that's just because I don't have a lot of the rules. It's a game that you want more, you can just keep piling it on, just adding more and more rules and all this other different maneuvers, stuff like that. But I am playing with like pretty much the most bare bone version of this game you can, because I'm new to it, so I don't want to, you know, do too much and go too crazy. Oh, you think it's control roll? Not to be confused with control rating, which has the same abbreviation but is different. There's the amount of abbreviations. Okay, control. I guess that would make sense, because you're trying to like control your overconfidence or your obsession. So that would check out. I was just going with the D&D, whatever I said, the CR challenge rating. But yeah, so combat does take place in rounds. I'll quickly add both characters to initiative just so you can see how this works. You don't roll for initiative unless there's a scenario where you do roll for initiative, but it seems like most of the time you don't. And essentially each character has a move value, a basic move. And so that's what's used for calculating initiative. So if I roll for Perry, he gets 6.5. Dr. Doof gets 5. I don't know why there's dice and why there's fractions and whatnot, or decimals, but it's essentially just taking, if I look at Perry's speed, it's going to be 6.5. So that's why he has 6.5, and he goes first in combat. Combat, you just do one thing, which I like. I really like simple and quick combat. I don't know. It just makes sense because combat happens so fast. So in this, your turn lasts a second. You can do one maneuver. That's it. There's a couple of free things you can do. Like you can talk, you can drop something. There's a third thing, but like when you talk, it's a second. So you got to like limit yourself to like a sentence pretty much. And that's it. I mean, obviously it's a game. So you can kind of just roll with it if you want and say how much you ever want to say. If you have a big monologue you want to give in the middle of your turn, but you know, as the game works, it's like each turn is a second, so it's supposed to be pretty quick. You can talk, you can drop an item, and you can crouch for free. But each turn, you essentially just choose what's called a maneuver. There's a number of maneuvers to choose from. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Here they are. They're listed. I don't know if they're actually listed anywhere in Foundry besides right here. I'm going to be probably looking at the PDF off to the screen or off to the side. But there's not too many. A lot of them are pretty straightforward. Move just moves up to your move speed. What else we got? I can kind of just go through them one by one. Aim, you need to do for some weapons before, so you have to like take a turn to aim before the next turn you shoot. Change posture is just like you're crouching, you can stand and whatnot. Evaluate, I don't know. Attack just lets you attack. There's like a feint attack. There's an all-out attack where you essentially do a like better attack. So you can either, let me see, all-out attack's pretty cool. It might come up a couple times. There's kind of 3 different all-out attacks you can do. You can do what's called a determined all-out attack, which just means you have a +4 to hit. You have a double attack, which means you make 2 attacks, but the second one is at a penalty. Or you have a strong attack, making the first one just deal a lot of damage. There's also then, what else? I'm just gonna keep hovering over these. Okay, all-out attack, yeah. Are these the different types? Okay, determined, yeah. There's a feint attack, strong attack, all-out attack, suppressing fire. I didn't know that. These aren't in my book. The move and attack, so that's pretty nice. So move just lets you move, attack just lets you attack. But move and attack, you could kind of do both, but your attack is gonna be worse. So I think you can move your movement speed, but then you have like a -4 to your attack. And then there's all-out defense, where you're trying to defend yourself. You can choose to just do that. And there's different types of all-out defense you can do. You can do a ready action. You can concentrate for a spell. You can wait, which is kind of like a version of like attack of opportunity. So you're like, oh, there's a Perry the Platypus is charging at me. Like, I'm going to save my action. So you just have to make a condition and then say what would happen if that condition happens. So I'm going to say, oh, if Perry the Platypus gets within melee range, I'm going to hit him with an all-out attack that's determined to hit. And then if he comes within range, it's great. If not, I wasted an action just standing there. So those are the basic what's called maneuvers. You do 1 each turn. It's pretty straightforward. And yeah, so that's pretty much that. There's some more. For tiebreaking, I believe. -4, and you're capped at 9. Oh, is that for the move and attack? Okay, yeah. You cannot exceed 9. That's pretty rough because you're rolling 3d6. That's below the curve for sure. So attacking, you roll to try to hit them. If you do, great. Now they have a chance to try to defend. So it's a bit of a back and forth with combat, which once again, I kind of like. I don't know. I like combat being quick, but at the same time, I don't know. It kind of makes sense that you should have a chance to dodge or parry each, attack coming at you. So you do have those options. You can dodge, you can block, you can parry. Those are the 3 basic defense checks that you can do. Let me see. Still figuring out where some stuff is. My defense is, there's my dodge. So like if I was trying to dodge, if Dr. Doof was trying to dodge, it would roll here. I needed a 7 or less. Definitely did not get that. So then any attack coming at me would hit. If I have a weapon that can parry, I could do that. If I have like a shield or something, you can block. Most of the time, the one thing you can do is just try to dodge. And I believe there's like different types of dodge. There's the all-out defense, which some of that can affect how your dodges or blocks work. Like I think if you do all-out defense, then that means you get like either an increased defense or a double defense. Like you get to do a second one if your first roll fails, which is nice. And yeah, that's kind of that. So defense, and if the hit goes through, you roll for damage, which looking at like Dr. Doof, his punch just does 1d4 minus 4 CR, which is I think just crushing damage. I don't know, but that rolled a 4 or 5 minus 4 is just 1 point of damage. Perry the Platypus, I don't really think I have many weapons for either. I have some items. He has like sharp claws and stuff. They're not really gonna be fighting too much. I mean, they are, but it's gonna be pretty one-sided and probably pretty quick and more just kind of like, I don't know, not super serious. But we'll get to that. Unless they all out attacked, of course. In regards to, oh, right. So yeah, that's one of the downsides for all out attack, right? Is that what you're saying? Is that you don't get an opportunity to defend? I think, yeah, you are correct. That most times, yeah, you do have the opportunity to defend, but that's one thing you give up when doing an all out attack. Yes. And then, yeah, you roll for damage and yeah, you're going back and forth. Once you hit 0, you're not dead, but you start doing like death checks. Not really going to worry about that today. We'll get to, I'm going to go over the character stuff here in a second. One thing I took for Dr. Doof as a major, his biggest advantage is he's unkillable because of cartoon logic. He just lives every time. He gets run over by a big bulldozer. He falls off his tower. He's back next episode. You can't kill him. So, I'm going to be playing a lot of this pretty loose today. Combat's going to be pretty, not too serious, like I said. It's not like Perry's ever trying to kill Dr. Doof. He's just trying to stop his invention and kind of protect the tri-state area. So that's pretty much it for the rules. Yeah, I was kind of surprised. Like when I was like a bit like, oh, this could be a lot. Even with the light version, like there's kind of a lot going on. But like once I started like reading through it, I was like, okay, most of this stuff is just for character creation. And then there's like rules for like, okay, jumping, running, swimming, throwing. I not really gonna go over those. If we use them, great. We'll pull them up. But yeah. Oh, it's crushing. No wounding modifier. What do you mean by no wounding modifiers? And that, a good point about modifiers. So that's a big part of this game is modifiers. And in Foundry, like there's this whole tooltip for like common modifiers and common like modifiers to hit. See, Dr. Doofy has modifier. This game really it goes crazy with the modifiers because that's how it functions. And I do kind of think I like that because, for example, I'll throw out an example. So let's say you're a character trying to lockpick a door. So you're going to roll on your lockpicking skill, but then depending on the door, how easy or hard it is, you're going to add some modifiers. And adding modifiers is better for the character. So if it's like you're trying to lockpick a door, but it has a rusty lock, okay, then maybe you're rolling lockpicking plus 3 because it's like a rusty door. But it's night and it's pouring down rain, so you have a -2 for that for visibility. So you're only adding +1 to your roll essentially. And so that's kind of a lot of this game functions on like modifiers for your rolls. So and it's nice because you can just add little ways to modify the what's going on, if it's raining out or if it's dark out, or if you could just add like little modifiers for this and that just to make it more realistic, because this is like a bit of a simulation game. And so they really do a good job at having a way to kind of just tweak stuff ever so slightly without making it too difficult. And that's why I like, for example, then in that lock picking example, like that's how you would do it rather than D&D. You would just be like, oh, this is a difficult lock, so your DC is like 16. Like maybe you have a chart, maybe you're just pulling that number out of thin air. Like I feel like it's a bit more, it just makes more sense. Like I just like the way you would do that more than like in something like D&D where you have to like come up with like a difficulty challenge of like a certain test. You're trying to jump over this huge cliff. Okay, well, and you could kind of do that. Like you could say this is a base 15 and then it's raining out, so it's a +1, so it's actually a 16 test. But I don't know. I kind of like the way GURPS does it with modifiers. But needless to say, I'm gonna screw up when it comes to modifiers. Like I'm gonna probably forget about them all the time and forget to add them or subtract them for different difficulties. But I'll try, or different tests. But I'll try my best. I think Unkillable 1 in particular still leaves you vulnerable to over 11 times HP damage in one attack like a nuke. Okay, that's good to know. So avoid nukes. I wonder, does it specify that here? No. But what's cool is, I don't know if I want to click this button, but what is this going to do? Okay, that did something. Okay, that just took me to the page to buy it. What's cool is in GCS, the character creator for this, is all skills and stuff will have a reference here. And I kind of like how they do it, where it'll take you to a page of the PDF, but you have to have the PDF. And so that was the reason I bought the basic set character stuff, because there was some like cool stuff I wanted to read more about. And I was like, okay, I probably didn't have to buy the book, but it was like, I kind of want to see what's going on with some of this stuff. And I liked what I saw of this game so far. So I figured, I might play it some more, especially like GURPS Lite is free, which is pretty much what I'll be using today, minus just a couple of extra things to make these characters specifically. But yeah, I think that's my rules overview. I'm surely leaving out more, but I think that really is at the heart. That's the game, is just you're rolling 3d6 for a lot of stuff, trying to roll under the number, adding modifiers to the number beforehand, and that's kind of it. Yeah. Well, we can quickly go over the characters and then kind of just get going into this. See how this goes. Like I said, this might just be really boring, or it might just be super slow. We'll see. So the star of the show today will be good old Dr. Doofenshmirtz. So he's got, I'll just go over some of his abilities and attributes. So like I said, I made him a 150 point character with minus 50 points in disadvantages. So I decreased his strength because he's not super strong. Dexterity is the same. Intelligence I bumped up to 13 because he's a smart guy. He might not have street smarts, but he can build these crazy inventions. So he knows what he's doing. Health I left at 10. All the rest of the stats I mainly left the same. I bumped down his will a little bit because he's a bit of a scaredy cat. Even though Fright Check is something different, but that's like his, I guess he's just not the most mentally strong guy. And then perception I bumped up a little bit because he's pretty perceptive, I think. And so that's where I spent all those attribute points on, which once again, what's cool is like you could leave the attributes just as is and spend all of your points on skills and like advantages, which I think is pretty cool. Like I said, after the stream, I'm going to try, if I remember, I'm going to post a link to this YouTube channel of this guy I was watching. I think his name's Chris Nomad. That my name would be completely wrong. Who has a lot of great videos on character creation and GURPS and this and that. And so I was watching his, and he had some good outlines of like rough estimates of some stuff you can shoot for creating a character, which is kind of the guideline I followed, which was like 50% of your points should go into advantage. Or I think it was attributes. I guess I didn't follow it too close for this one. And then like 30% goes into advantages and 20% goes into skills. But obviously for Dr. Doof, I spent a lot more points on advantages than attributes. So it's a guideline, right? But let's go look at skills real fast because that'll be the quicker one, which is over here. So let me see, can I sort these by their sort ascending? Okay, that's just it's that way. Okay, we'll just go through them one by one. So I gave him electronics operation, which is scientific equipment. So I put 4 points into that, which means he's got to roll 14 or under. Engineering robotics, gave him 12 points in that. He's always making crazy robots, so that's got to be one of his top skills. Also escape, I put a bunch of points into because he always manages to get away, or at least like even if his inventions fail and Perry ruins the day, like he makes it out more or less unharmed, and if not, he can't really die. So he's good at escaping. Explosives, he uses them from time to time. Leadership, gave him a point in. I think that was one I was just trying to like add some extra stuff in there. Mechanics, so I made him specifically he's good at with his innators, which is like his machines that he builds, and then public speaking too. And then we got all the advantages and disadvantages. So sort these one by one. Okay, let's go. So charisma, and is it an advantage? He's a pretty charismatic guy, even though he's a bit weird. He can get his point across. He's comfortable wealth. He's got this mansion. He always has money for these inventions, so he's got some wealth. Disadvantage is he's delusional. He thinks he's a genius villain and he wants to rule the tri-state area, so that's kind of going against him. Big disadvantage is enemy. He has an arch nemesis, Perry the Platypus, that's always ruining his day. A biggest, I think, advantage, one of the biggest advantages is Gadgeteer. He's able to make stuff super quick and make really great inventions that'll inevitably go awry. Or maybe he can make good inventions, but he's like not the smartest, so he might, accidentally put his self-destruct button somewhere, or like do something stupid that easily takes it down. He's a bit of a klutz, so that's a disadvantage. He must monologue plans to Perry the Platypus. He just has to. He can't just come up with this whole scheme and not tell anybody about it. Natural attacks is, I think, just something that's in there by default. I don't think I put that. Obsession, so he's a bit obsessive about taking over the tri-state area and just trying to do his different schemes. And even though he gets taken down every day, he keeps coming back. So that's a disadvantage, but it's also kind of an advantage. He's obsessed and kind of overconfidence. This probably work against him from time to time, but maybe not. Reluctant killer. I don't know why this is like a paragraph of text, but it's like he doesn't want to kill people, and there's stuff here for it. He mainly just wants to like make money, rule the tri-state area, maybe get revenge on people that have wronged him in the past, but he's not really a killer. Signature gear, I think, just gives him extra gear. I don't know why I really picked that, because he only has one piece of gear, which is his lab coat. Unkillable, this is his other massive advantage that he has, which I just wrote the reasoning being cartoon logic, that no matter what happens, he doesn't really die. And his voice, he's got, even though it's a little bit of a weird voice, it seems like people want to listen to what he says sometimes. So I don't know. There you go. That's Dr. Doof. And yeah, the only equipment I gave him is his lab coat. Not that he doesn't have other stuff. I mean, he owns this like big Doofenshmirtz Evil Incorporated tower, but that's all he, has on him at the moment. And then I'll quickly go over Perry the Platypus. I create a whole character sheet for them. Didn't go too in depth because like I'm kind of focusing on Dr. Doof, but I mean I'm gonna be kind of playing both characters, and yeah. So Perry is 116 points higher than Dr. Doof, so almost not twice as strong, but pretty close. Strength is 11, so a little bit higher. Dex is way higher at a 14, very dexterous. Dexterous? Something like that, yeah. A little bit more intelligent. Well, he's not more intelligent than him, but up to an 11 and 12 health. Perry's pretty durable. Didn't really change any of his other basic stats. I gave him lots of skills, so let me sort these by ascending. Acrobatics, 8 points. He's very acrobatic. He's always leaping through windows and dodging and rolling. That's how he's kind of able to stay alive. So he's good at that. He's good at climbing, good at detecting lies. Put 2 points in that. He's got a disguise. That's just his hat. It's a great disguise because, Platypus will walk up to Dr. Doof and he's like, why is there a platypus here? And then Perry puts on the hat. Now he knows. So I guess anything, the disguise is not is without his hat. I don't know. That's kind of weird. But regardless, he's got points in disguise. He's got points in surveillance because he's a bit of a spy. Points in escape. Put 4 there. Judo and karate. He's got 8 points in each because he's good at fighting with his fists. Not really. He has like weapons on him, but Perry's a secret agent. He's a spy. He's got like grappling hooks and jetpacks. It's not like he's carrying a revolver on him, right? So he's, like I said, it's never like he wants to kill Dr. Doof because most of the time he's not trying to hurt anybody. Dr. Doof is just trying to like make money or maybe right a wrong that he thinks is something he needs to do. So that's that. Where was I? Observation, he's good at that. Stealth, he's very stealthy, and swimming, he's a platypus, so he's good at that. And I'll quickly run through these and then we'll kind of get going here. He's got the catfall perk because he's light on his feet. Charisma, he's pretty charismatic. I don't even remember how many disadvantages I took. Okay, almost 50. Code of honor, disadvantage because he is part of a secret agent organization, so he has a bit of a code to uphold there. He's got combat reflexes, very good in combat, danger sense. He knows when stuff's going awry. He does have a duty to the OWCA, which is the organ without a cool acronym. He has enhanced swimming because he's a platypus. He's flexible. He's got a high pain threshold. He also has obsession, which is just protecting the tri-state area. He's got a patron, which is just the OWCA. They always supply him with the mission and all of his gear. Like, that's kind of where he gets all of his stuff. He's got a secret identity, which is a disadvantage. He's got a sharp beak and sharp claws because he's fighting and whatnot. If it comes to blows, Perry's probably size modifier -2 or 3. What is his current size modifier? Wait, where is that? This character sheet. I'm still learning like where some of the stuff is. There's tech level, which I know that's Dallas pointed out that's not correct. 3 is like what like a D&D I think would be. That's like medieval level. Yeah, this is, you can go a lot higher tech level. And as you see, some of these skills will even say like, you know, this is like tech level 3 or stuff like that. Is that something I can change now? I might have to go into GCS and do that. I think I can edit it here. Where? I just don't see it. I'm looking, I don't see it. Height, weight. I feel like it'd be over here. Move? No. Is that something I can change here? If not, I guess it's not the end of the world. But I mean, combat's gonna come up, but I'm not too worried about it. That's because it's probably not gonna last long, and I don't know. It's probably not gonna be, like I said, I'm not gonna be too worried about it. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm really playing this by ear. I don't see that anywhere. Maybe that's something. Maybe that's something I should have done before. Oh well. I could change your posture here. Oh, I didn't even know all this. Yeah, I haven't. Like I said, I haven't played this too much, so still learning the system a little bit. Just below 8, hard to change. Wait. I mean, I think I could just click editor, right? Below weight. Oh, size modifier. Oh, can I just click editor? Is that? Did you say a 2 or 3? Let's go -3. I don't know. Take your word on that. Okay, how do I save? Oh, this is confusing. I don't see a save button. Maybe I just go back to sheet? No. Can I just like Command S? No. I don't see a save button. Maybe I'm an idiot. There's share. What if I just close it? I don't think that's what I wanted to do. That fixed it. Okay. What exactly does that affect? I guess I don't even know. I did that without even knowing the... Oh, but it still says editing. I'm not editing it anymore. I closed it. Oh, I messed stuff up. Because now I don't even have the edit button there anymore. Oh, no, I really screwed stuff up. But it is -3 now, so... Yeah. So, yeah, we can kind of hop into this. Like I said, I'm kind of just going to do it like episode by episode. So we're just going to kind of do it episode at a time. I'm going to be using Mythic a lot for inspiration. I'll be using it to ask any questions I have, help determine stuff. I also think I'll be using some of the tables, like the action and description tables, to come up with ideas, because I also want to think, like, I don't know, it'd be kind of fun to map out kind of the whole episode. So like, let's figure out what Phineas and Ferb are up to, then figure out what Dr. Doof is up to, you know, figure out how Dr. Doof does all of the stuff he does, you know, have the conflict between Perry and Dr. Doofenshmirtz, and then figure out kind of how it all gets destroyed in the end and how the two kind of storylines come together. And I think that'll be kind of fun. So we'll see. Just to give you some ideas, once again, if you've never seen the show, of some of the stuff Phineas and Ferb do on an average day. So this is like, I just went through the first couple episodes, so like the first 3 episodes, because they're like double episodes each. And, you know, they built a roller coaster across their town. They added their sister to Mount Rushmore. They built put a back in their backyard, built a beach, an entire beach in their backyard. They became professional race car drivers. They became cattle ranchers. They went, made winter and summer, where they turned their backyard into like a ski like resort. So they're doing crazy stuff that, you know, no kids should be doing, but like building a roller coaster across town, like that's a pretty crazy, you know, thing to be doing on just a random summer day, but not for Phineas and Ferb. Now, Dr. Doof, he has some interesting ideas that never really go quite great for him. So here's some stuff that he did in the first few episodes. So like episode 1, so normally when Perry gets called in, there's some reason that he got called in. You know, Dr. Doof is up to something that warrants some attention from Perry the Platypus. So like episode 1, Dr. Doofenshmirtz bought up 80% of the tinfoil in the area. Why did he do this? Well, he wanted to cover the entire tri-state area in foil and then use a magnet to rotate the earth. He didn't really have a reason for doing this. He mentioned like buying some lakefront properties or whatever. He thought like shifting episode 1, he even says like, I don't know why I'm doing this. I'm gonna figure out along the way. Episode 2, Perry gets called because he has a hideout in Lincoln's Head at Mount Rushmore. Dr. Doofenshmirtz's idea, some of these I was kind of shocked at some of his ideas, was to drill a hole to China to build a toll highway to make money. And he built the Drillinator. Episode 3, he purchased a blimp, reasoning being he wanted to deflate everything in the tri-state area with his deflatinator and then charge money to people to inflate things. Genius idea. Episode 4, he stole all the lawn gnomes in the tri-state area. Reasoning, well, the idea behind it was he was just trying to destroy all the lawn gnomes. The reason was his family grew up poor and their lawn gnome got like taken away to pay like for, I don't know, they had to like sell it essentially. And so his father made him stand out in the garden and be a garden gnome, and that made him sad. And so he was like, I don't think if we couldn't have a garden gnome, nobody should. So that's what he was up to in that episode. Episode 5, Perry got called because Dr. Doof had multiple overdue books about insects to the library and also got quotes on aluminum siding. Well, it turns out Dr. Doofenshmirtz made like a mind control helmet to control termites to destroy all the wood in the tri-state area. And then he was going to try to sell people aluminum siding. Sound idea. And the last one was Perry got called because Dr. Doofenshmirtz bought up 18,000 laser pointers. Why did he do that? To melt all the chocolate in the tri-state area and make chocolate of himself. And he wanted to do this because he's not very popular and thought selling chocolates of miniature versions of himself is a good idea. So these are just some ideas of the stuff we'll be up to today. And so, yeah, I mean, it could be very goofy, as you see. A lot of these are not serious at all. Most of them involve trying to make money in some way with some crazy idea. And Perry always stops it because he's trying to protect the tri-state area. Also, just like protect disasters. You know, in this episode, when he was trying to drill a hole to China, Dr. Doofenshmirtz built this crazy drill, did all this work, but didn't think about, hey, there's lava in the center of the earth, and almost killed himself and probably got other people injured with like a volcano. So Perry's doing work trying to keep people safe, and I guess Dr. Doof safe from himself. So there you go. That's a little bit about what's to come. Okay. So let's just go to sheet. Follow the pop-up instructions. Sheet. Pop-up instructions. No, I don't think that's it, because that just changes. No, I goofed it. Oh, whatever I did, fix it. It says no longer editing. I clicked around and I think I somehow fixed it. So we're good there. All right. Let's when we create a new journal, we'll just call these episodes. And we'll start with episode 1. So episode 1, it's a summer day. Phineas and Ferb are in their yard, bored out of their mind, and they need to come up with some idea of what they're doing today. So I'm going to roll on the mythic actions table. maybe the descriptions. I think actions will probably be make more sense, and try to figure out what Phineas and Ferb are up to. Not that it really matters, but I feel like, you know, if I'm trying to like do this episodically, like the show is called Phineas and Ferb. Like we need to kind of know what they're up to. And then, I mean, sometimes Dr. Doofenshmirtz's stuff is directly kind of related. Like the one episode where he made the Deflatinator, that was the same episode that they were trying to become race car drivers. And that's why like stuff got deflated at the end. Like it seems like the storylines always intertwine at some point, but it never, sometimes not like directly, but anyway. Distrust outside. Okay. I don't. So what are Phineas and Ferb up to? And I got distrust outside. What could that possibly mean? And what I'm gonna roll another one. I can maybe come up with something. I'm gonna just get another opinion. Because that's not a whole lot to work with. Arrive in prison. Okay. So we got to work with one of these. Distrust outside. So something's going on outside that they don't trust. Look at that. I don't even know what that would mean. Arrive in prison. That just doesn't work. I'm just deleting that one. We got another second one that could actually like maybe work. Support. Here we go. Maybe there's better tables to roll in. I was just picking this one because it's the first, but yeah, I think this is the best one. It's vague, but I kind of like that. We can try to interpret it. I think that's gonna be part of the fun. So do a bullet point. So support victory. Okay, that seems like that could be something. Some other quick context about the show. Trying to think. So yeah, Phineas and Ferb have a sister named Candace that's always trying to get them in trouble, and she never does because the stuff that they're doing always disappears by the end of the episode because of whatever happens with Dr. Doofenshmirtz. Dr. Doofenshmirtz also has a daughter, Vanessa. That might come up at some point. Do they think they are in a Truman Show situation? Okay. For like distrust outside. That could be interesting, but okay. No, I like, okay. I like that. But like, what would that, I'm trying to think, what would their grand adventure or invention of the day be? If they did think they were in a Truman Show. First thing I thought of is like, I don't know, they made like a virtual, you know, video game, like an MMO, like Second Life type thing. But I don't know. That could be something. That could be something. Distrust outside. I mean, what if it was, I don't know. I'm trying to think of what else. This is stupid. What if they like thought they saw an alien? A UFO, but then, you know, I don't know. They tried to find it. It wasn't there. Now they become UFO hunters for the day or something. I don't know. They built a rocket ship to go to space to try to find the UFO that they thought they saw that maybe they didn't. I don't know. This is tough. Okay, these are tough words, but maybe, I mean, the other one that we had wasn't even good, like the arrive prison or something. Turn the whole town into an escape room. Okay. What, like distrust? Wait, how would? Okay. Whole town into an escape room. How would that even? What would that look like? I think there's just a big puzzle like across town and people are trying to like go to their job and they have to like try to solve an escape room first. Why would they even do that? I'm gonna roll one more. Not that these are terrible. I just want to get something going when we got this episode on the road. Not saying these are bad ideas. There's no bad ideas. Break health. Okay, so what would I do? What's description gonna give me? I don't think it's gonna be anything better. Maybe it's like what they're lovingly petite. That's nothing. That's just nothing. What about character motivations? Could that be something? Okay, wait, we got adventure. Hold on. Pleasure. Character motivation might not be a bad one. Let me roll on this one again. Legal. Hope. Become directives? Directives. Like the Simpson movie? Wait, what happens in the Simpson? Oh boy. I've seen the Simpson movie like once, like a long time ago. Like I know there's like a bubble over the town, right? Isn't there? Like it's like a dome or something, but then what's the deal with that? That's not bad. I also kind of like some of these that was just legal hope. Like what if, I don't know, they become lawyers for a day? Maybe like, yeah, no, I kind of, hold on, legal hope. Maybe we'll circle back to some of these, but legal hope I kind of like what if it was something like, because they're in school. So what if like one of their friends, but they're in just during summer, but still this would still work. That maybe like, you know, at the library, one of their friends got in trouble and got like banned from the library or something. And the friend is innocent. And so Phineas and Ferb start up a like law practice. It's pretty good. All to get their friend like unbanned from the library or something like that. I don't know. That could be something. Legal hope, I think, is the best pair of words so far. Maybe this character motivation might be decent. Yeah, they become like lawyers for the day, just busting people out of trouble. One thing that comes up most episodes also is that Phineas and Ferb end up doing something kind of crazy that, you know, kids normally wouldn't be doing, and then usually at some point during the show, people, like an adult, will be like, "Aren't you two a little young to be lawyers?" And then they'll be like, "Yes, we are." And then that's the conversation. They'll be like, "Okay, well, case dismissed," or something. Okay, I might go with this legal hope one. It's my favorite of these words that kind of works, sort of. Distrust outside, though. I feel like I kind of like maybe something with that. So I might keep that on the back burner, but get rid of all these other words. Get them out of here. Okay. I'm going with this. So should it be the library that got banned from? Well, yeah, what if, yeah. I'm trying to think. They have a bunch of friends. I don't even know their names. Shows how much of a fake fan I am of the show. So we'll say P plus F friend got wrongfully banned from the library. So P plus F, that's just Phineas and Ferb because I'm too lazy to type it all out. Start up a legal firm to I don't know, to bring justice to their friend. Sure, this is just the first episode, so you know what? If it's a stinker, then we'll just fast forward to the next one. So okay, because at the end of the day, it's not really important what they're doing, but it is. It is. I want to know, and it's got to, you know, whatever Dr. Doofenshmirtz is doing has to kind of not relate to it, but it would be cool if it did. You know, maybe because we can also use this now to help have some inspiration for what Dr. Doofenshmirtz is up to. So, okay, we know for what are we going to do today? That we're going to become lawyers and start up a law firm to get their friend out of trouble at the library. Sure. Great. Now, what is Dr. Doofenshmirtz up to? He's up to no good. He's coming up with a scheme. Let's do another character motivation. I kind of liked that. So I might just try different tables if some of them seem better or worse, but that was a good one, I think. Maybe there's better ones. Bleak Inquire. Okay, that doesn't really give me much. Let me do that. Oh, I did the wrong one. That's probably why I did conversation, not motivation. Okay, group hate. Group hate. Okay. I'm gonna roll this again, but group hate. We got malice idea. Okay, that's nothing. That's just a malice idea. Give me the idea. Don't tell me it's an idea. Need something else. Mistrust. Okay, I like mistrust imprisoned. Okay, wait, that could be. See, I like because this is good. See, so if we're doing something like law related, and then what if, you know, Dr. Doofenshmirtz has, you know, so a companion that's in prison and he's trying to like break him out. That would be kind of fun. Is like, you know, Dr. Doofenshmirtz is at like a jail trying to break someone out while Phineas and Ferb are like defending someone like around the corner, like a courtroom or something. I kind of don't hate that. It's not the best idea. Steal the Constitution to make his plan legal. Okay. I like that. So wait, they get... How... Why? Okay. How would that get their friend to make his plan legal? I'm just trying to... I mean, I like the idea of them stealing the Constitution. But I'm trying to think of like why they would even want to do that, or how it would... Like, at least with this scenario of like their friend got wrongfully banned from the library, like how would stealing the Constitution? Yeah, I don't know. Prompts are starting to sound like role-playing It's Always Sunny rather than Phineas and Ferb. You know, when you make your own show, that's just how it goes. It can go anywhere. But I haven't really seen much of It's Always Sunny, but I've heard it's really good. As a big fan of Seinfeld, I've heard it's like a kind of like a show like Seinfeld, except the characters are a lot more worse. It's like in Seinfeld, like they're lovable, like but they're not great across the board, and like the finale kind of shows that. But I've heard that yes, it's Sunny is just like takes it to another level. Mistrust in prison. So what could okay, let me see. I guess I should ask this fake question. Whatever Dr. Doof is doing today, is it a money-making scheme? I think it's likely. Yes. So whatever Dr. Doof is doing today, he's doing it to make money. Whether it's drilling a hole to China to make a toll highway, trying to deflate everything to pay so people pay him to inflate stuff. Like, I don't even. These are the kind of ideas that a Dr. Doofenshmirtz has. So group hate, I don't know. Group hate, that could be something. Mistrust in prison. So I mean, I kind of like the idea of doing like a prison break, but how would that make money? I don't know. We'll do one more. Let me do one more. Let's get another motivation. Not that I hate these, but you know what? Mythic, just keep trying stuff till something sticks. Whoa, it was a 4 and a 5. Approval of anger. Try actions again. Maybe these would be better. I don't know. I'm just trying stuff. Like I said, I'm just trying stuff. Guide. Tension. Got a lot of stuff to work with here. Something's got to stick. Release prisoners in order to start a bounty hunting reality show. That's quite the idea. Okay. Yeah. Sure. I mean, I was yeah, going off that mistrust in prison. There's got to be some weird aspect to it. So okay, so yeah, I think I'm still sticking with this. They're gonna start up a legal firm. I mean, I like the idea of stealing the Constitution, but yeah, I don't know how that would really work. So we'll say Dr. Doof. But he's got to be doing something weird. Like, it can't just be like releasing prisoners. It would be like, I don't know, him making robot like duplicates of prisoners to take their spot and like something weird. Like, there's got to be like a weird twist to it. Then I also got to think, you know, what I'm trying to connect all the dots to make this episode right. So like, okay, Dr. Doof is doing that. You know, what, because he has to be doing something that lets the organization that's spying on him know, hey, you're up to no good, to alert Perry. So what could be the weird thing? Like, okay, he's trying to release the prisoners to start a bounty hunting TV show. Great. That's a fun idea. But what? There's gotta be like a little bit more there. A little bit more. A little twist. Like, you know, replacing him with ice sculpture. Like, I don't know. It could be anything, right? Like, it could be it could be dumb. This guy's not the smartest, but he is, but he's not. Anything on that? Maybe the identity table? What's wrong with it? I don't know what that does. Survivor artist. That's something. That's an identity, all right. Dr. Doof has a plan to release prisoners and start a bounty hunter TV show to make money. Okay, what if it was like I don't know. I like the idea that, so he's obviously in it for money, but I kind of like the dumb idea that like he wants to sell merch for the show. And for some reason, like, this is not the idea, but this is just something like, what if he was like, oh, I had a big Halloween party and I bought too many cobwebs and now I want to start up a spooky show to sell cobwebs as like a merch idea. Like, obviously that's something like that, like along those lines. Like, oh, he has some large surplus of items he wants to get rid of. And so he thinks the easiest way to do that is to sell it as merch for a bounty hunter prison break show. Like, maybe it was like, oh, like he accidentally got a shipment of like prison uniforms to his place. There was a mix up at the dry cleaner. Now he has 100 prison uniforms. And so he learned how to screen print, made custom prison uniforms, and wants to sell them as merch for his bounty hunter TV show. Like, I think that's pretty good. So, yeah, I like that seems to fit the bill. Like, you know, there has to be, like, he wants to make money, but it needs to be a little different, and I like that. So was a mix up at the dry cleaners, and Dr. Doof ended up with 100 prison uniforms. He thinks selling them as merch will make him rich. I'm gonna say a bunch. I'm not gonna put a number, but I just said 100 just because I don't know. He joined an MLM. That would be pretty good too. Okay, yeah, that's something I could see him doing. Okay, so we've got this the start. So Phineas and Ferb, they got a friend wrongfully banned at the library, so they're over there reading up on constitutional law, doing their studies, starting up a law firm in the tri-state area. At some point, you know, they ask, where's Perry? Perry's getting summoned by the organization because of what? So what was Dr. Doof doing in this to alert? Was it just that he was seen carrying a bunch of prison uniforms? Was it that, because I was gonna figure out like how is he gonna release the prisoners? Like I guess it would be a prison releaseinator. That's probably what he would call that, or an escapeinator, something like that. Look, Jonesy. Say hi, Jonesy. You got an idea for the episode? She's got nothing. That's an empty head right there. Okay. So what? How are these prisoners going to escape? Because he's going to do something that will allow the prisoners to escape. He's going to be building an escapeinator. Great. How's that going to work? How are the prisoners going to escape? Is it that it's going to melt all the steel out of prison? Would it? It feels gotta be a little bit more goofy than that. Like I said, keep in mind, this is, you know, episode 1 of the show. His plan was to cover the entire tri-state area in aluminum foil to change the rotation of the Earth. He didn't even really have a good reason for it, so like, I can't remember. This is who we're working with here. So an escapeinator. I think of what would be like a fun, and maybe I can roll on the table. I don't know if I need to roll on a table for this. I should just try to come up with something. Yeah, I don't know. We'll figure that out. We'll figure that out here in a second. But we'll say that Perry gets word that Dr. Doof has been spotted with prison uniforms and at a local community center learning to screen print. That's what Perry, that's what his message is from the guy that normally gives Perry his message is a guy named Major Monogram. There's like a whole organization, but that's the main guy. Make prison guards feel guilty. They just like let all the prisoners out. Okay, like a mind control. Okay. You know, well, yeah, we can figure out once, which is about to happen here in a second, once Dr. Doof starts monologuing to Perry once he gets captured, when he inevitably gets captured. But I do want to try to figure it out a little bit. So he's going to build an escapeinator. We got pretty much everything there, except how does this escapeinator work? Yeah, okay, so maybe it does make the prison guards feel guilty. I'm trying to think what else, but it could also be like train a bunch of rats to to do something. I don't know. It could, you know, we're talking, this is cartoon logic, goofy. Could be anything. What? But it could be something with like a mind control type thing, but what, make them feel guilty that they're doing their job? I don't know how that would. Yeah, this is tough. I don't know. Once I figure this out, that's like the last step. We can actually start rolling some dice and doing some stuff. Because we could also like, yeah, I mean, I was planning on like we can actually like play through Dr. Doof, like maybe it's not like he needs to go like, you know, shopping to get all the parts to build this escapinator, but that could be like we can like kind of do some of that, right? And some of the prep for him building this before Perry gets there and ruins the day inevitably. Build an escapinator. What? How would that work? What if it was, yeah, what if it was something like, I mentioned rats earlier, but what if it was like a mole? Like something that, you know, digs underground. Like the escapinator, it mind controls all the moles in the area to dig tunnels into the prison to let the prisoners out. Something like that. That's maybe something he would do. I don't know. Kind of like that. The distractinator distracts the prison guards somehow. But how? But that's, yeah, that would work. But then how would they, you know, the prisoners get out? I guess if they're all distracted, then they could just steal the keys or something. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I will go with the mind controlling moles ideas, because that's, I don't know, that seems like kind of what I was, you know, it's gotta be kind of goofy. I think, yeah, mind controlling moles to dig tunnels into prisons. I think that works. That checks out. Okay, so we'll say, yeah, I'm just gonna go with that. So the it mind controls moles to dig tunnels into prisons, letting prisoners out. This is also kind of a wild idea for Dr. Doof. Like, when you think about it, like, he just wants to make money because he accidentally got these prison uniforms. So his logic is to mind control moles to let probably violent criminals out of prison to make a reality TV show out of them escaping so he can sell custom prison uniforms. I mean, that's like exactly what I'm going for. So I love it. It's just, it's out there for Dr. Doof. And I see why Perry would want to intervene, because that feels like it could go pretty wrong pretty quick. Something which causes a Shawshank Redemption reference. Yeah, that's gonna be tough for me because I haven't seen that or read that. That's a book, right? I know it's definitely a movie, but is that also a book? It was definitely a book, right? I feel like everything was a book. Okay, no, I feel like this is solid. This is exactly what I wanted. So let's actually maybe roll some dice and see how Dr. Doof. Also, I want to redo this part. So Perry gets word that Dr. Doof has been spotted. Let's say I'm gonna take out the spotted with the prison uniforms. He was just spotted at a local community center learning to screen print and had some books. Books? Come on, book. I keep typing bulls. Books. There we go. About moles. There we go. All right, now we can type. We're good. So that's all set up. So let's make some rolls, shall we? I feel like I've just been typing and talking, and we're almost 2 hours into the stream, and I haven't really made a single roll yet, but that's okay. So skills, we got engineering, operation, engineering, explosives, escape, leadership, mechanics. So I don't really know, because some of these is like seem pretty close, you know, electric operation, engineering, and mechanic. They all feel pretty similar to me. Engineering, I feel like would probably be like the actual creation of the thing. Electric operations would probably be like operating the thing. Mechanic is probably just fixing the thing. Is that maybe fair to say? So maybe we'll, yeah, I don't know. I was gonna do a test to build it, but I feel like I want to do something before that, but I don't know. Maybe we don't have to. Maybe we'll just have him build it. You know what? This first episode's been taking a while. We'll just have him build the thing, see how that goes. So we'll have him do an engineering operation. He's trying to build his escapinator. He needs to roll a 15 or less to successfully do so. He rolled a 7, succeeded by 8. So that's pretty good. So he's built his fair share of innators in the past, and an escapinator, that's nothing to him. So okay, we're rocking and rolling. Yeah, that's the paradigm. What's the that's not paradigm. Is that no. Paradigm. Is that how you spell paradigm, or was that typo, or am I just dumb? Is that just a completely different word? Regardless, okay. So he built his escapinator, and he's probably just built it. I mean, he's got this Doofenshmirtz Evil Incorporated tower that he's in most of the time, not all the time. We'll say for this episode, he maybe has a good visual on the prison he maybe wants to test this on first. And I like how he probably has all of his fancy custom screen printed prison uniforms ready to go to sell. Has them like stacked in boxes. He's ready for this show to make money. And let's see, hold on, maybe he has to, so he's gonna do the whole prison break thing, but is he able to convince people to make this an idea? I'm gonna have him do like a public speaking thing, as maybe he needs to run before he actually does all this, and in preparation he needs to, you know, partner with a TV network to get them to want to make a bounty hunting prison break show. So let's have him do a public speaking role. I'm kind of maybe glad I chose that now. And see what his skill level is like at that. He needs a 16 or less. That's got to be easy. He got a 13. So yeah, he went to the local tri-state area. I don't know, the news, the whatever channel station, and pitched this idea to a couple of people, and eventually found someone that was interested. So he made his innator, the escapinator. He got his custom, I want to call them like shirts. No, the uniforms. And he's ready to go. So he's in his tower, and he's firing his laser. Not firing it yet, but he's getting everything ready. Perry gets word that Dr. Doof was spotted at the local community center learning to screen print and had some books about moles. So Perry makes his way over. Meanwhile, you know, Phineas and Ferb are still moving their way up the legal system. At this point, you know, they're probably have already built a law firm, overturned many cases, probably already solved many unsolved murders, and they're on their grind trying to build up their reputation to eventually get their friend not banned from the library, I guess. That's what this is all about, right? So Perry flies over. I don't know how he flies. Normally it's like he has a little hover car thing that he flies. Sometimes it's a jetpack. We'll say today it's a hover car. So Perry flies this hover car to Doofenshmirtz Evil Incorporated building and busts through the window. And Dr. Doof is, of course, waiting there ready for Perry the Platypus. He knew he was coming, like always. And he hits him with like the Perry the Platypus. And he normally says something like, I don't know, he'll be like, your timing is completely impeccable. And by impeccable, I mean completely impeccable. Like that's the kind of stuff Dr. Doof is about. He's going to, of course, be ready for Perry and try to trigger one of his traps to capture Perry. And so I'm going to have Perry do a dodge roll to see if he can escape the trap. So he's what could the trap be? I think it would just be like if it's always got to be kind of, doesn't have to, but it could be related to like whatever he's doing. So he's working with like moles. So maybe he has a bunch of moles up in his place that just kind of grab a hold of Perry and like kind of hold him down. So Dr. Doof can monologue. We'll do a dodge roll. We'll see if the moles can grab a hold of him. But at the end of the day, Perry is going to need to be captured to monologue. Like this show just works like that. But I want to, add some randomness, add some dice roll, not make it super formulaic. But at the end of the day, I am trying to follow the show formula to the best I can. So Perry breaks in. Dr. Doof is surprised, but not surprised, and sicks his moles on Perry. But Perry kind of dodges out of the way. He's acrobatic, and he jumps, off to the side of the room and lands right. He dodges the moles, but then lands right in another trap. I don't know. So we'll just say he dodges out of the way, lands on a target, like an X marks the spot on the other side of the room, and then the second he lands there, some robot arms come out and grab him, and he doesn't even get a chance to dodge. He's trapped. There's two robot arms around his arm. He's stuck. And Dr. Doof is like, I knew you would dodge my moles, so I set up a second trap, and now Perry is trapped. So I'm gonna just write that out. So Perry breaks in. Dr. Doof sends moles to trap him, but he dodges and gets trapped, grabbed. Anyway. Sucks to suck, Perry, but you're in a TV show where things have to work a certain way. The moles combine into a giant mole to fight. That's something moles do, right? That's what, rats? There's the Rat King, where their tails get stuck together. That's a thing, right? Do other animals do that? Is that just a rat thing? I don't know much about it. I just know that's something that happens, can happen, does happen. But okay, so Perry is now trapped for now, because he'll eventually get out. But how and when, we do not know yet. But now is the time for Dr. Doof to do a bit of monologuing. And so we'll, Dr. Doof is he goes on to say, trying to think of how this could go. So maybe it's something like, Dr. Doof was so he was bummed. He was bored the other day. He was bored, and so Dr. Doof was just turned on the TV, and there's nothing to watch, and this bummed him out. And in the process of, as he was flipping through the channels, he spilled ice cream on his favorite lab coat, and so he had to go get his lab coat cleaned. And then the process of doing so accidentally got a huge shipment of prison uniforms instead by mistake. And I don't know, he talks about how he's like, well, I put one and one together and there's nothing to watch on TV. I have all these prison uniforms, so I thought I'd make a show about bounty hunters hunting prisoners and sell this as custom merch to make money to buy myself a new lab coat. And so he learned screen printing, learned what he could about moles, and made the Escapinator, which will mind control moles to dig tunnels into prisons to let prisoners out. Pretty great invention. Pretty solid logic behind Dr. Doof there and his reasoning. And that's kind of his little monologue, which he always has to do, of course. I mean, that's just what he does, but also like it's straight up, it's a disadvantage I gave him that he must do it. Like whether or not it's just part of his character. He has to monologue to Perry the Platypus. Don't know exactly what he's doing. That he's starting up a show. He paired with a network. You got the rights to this bounty hunter show. You got the custom uniforms made. And now all he has to do is let the prisoners out and let the money come in. And that's his monologue. So Perry is currently trapped. He is grappled by 2 robotic arms. So now we got to figure out, how does Perry get out? How does Perry get out? I mean, I like the idea. There's a lot of ways we could go with this. Maybe there's a flaw in the robot arm. Maybe they glitch out. Maybe this, that, the other. I don't really have it on here, but I like the idea that, Perry's a platypus. Moles are moles. That maybe he could like one animal to another, try to talk to the moles and let them like free Perry or something like that. I don't know. I don't really have a good skill for that. I don't have like an animal skill, even though he is an animal. What would I guess you could just do a default, like, because you don't have a skill doesn't mean you can't do a skill roll. There is like a default value for skills that you don't have. I forget what that is, but I could look that up because I might have to use that. We'll go to characters. I was just reading that this morning. Oh, here we go. Skill defaults using skills you don't know. Most skills have a default level, the level at which you use a skill if you have no training. A skill defaults to controlling attribute at -4 if easy, -5 if average, -6 if hard. So what is like, there's no like charisma attribute, right? So like his public speaking, what is that based on? That's on like IQ. Okay, so we'll do, if I do shift that, what did that just did? Okay, that wouldn't have succeeded anyway, but I want to add a temp modifier of just -4 if it's easy. A reaction roll? A reaction roll? I thought that was just for NPCs. I kind of skimmed over the reaction roll because I thought it was just like for... If that works here, I'll pull that up real fast, but... Oh, you're okay. Wait, okay. Well, reaction will just okay. I see what you say now. It's for Perry to talk to the bot. Okay, yeah. That would actually, yeah. We can use that. That might work better than what I was trying to do. So reaction roll. This when a PC meets an NPC whose reaction to them is not predetermined, roll 3d6. The higher the roll, the better the reaction. Then I feel like. So if I could do like an action roll, but then I should definitely add like 1 or 2 because like it's an animal talking to another animal, right? Maybe just add +1 does it say Dr. Doof? There we go. Perry the Platypus. We'll do a +2. I don't know. We'll just do it. +2. And then do I just click this to roll? I'm figuring this out. Okay, that was a really high roll. A +2 would modify the whole number. So very good. That's good. That's very good. Okay, great. So yeah, that's almost as good of a roll as you can get. On the chart for the reaction roll, that is very good. NPCs think highly of the character and will be quite helpful. So Perry is doing his little platypus I can't even do it, that grrr noise to the moles, trying to get them to free him as Dr. Doof is wheeling his escapinator to the window, getting it warmed up and plugged in and ready to go. Do the moles, I mean, I would think it's nearly certain the moles free Perry the Platypus, do they? What's going on, Mythic? Tell me. Yeah. Perry's convincing enough to, animal to animal, get some sympathy from the moles. They see that Dr. Doof is just using them to make money, doesn't really care about them, and they let Perry go while Dr. Doof has his back turned. And so now we need to get into a bit of combat. Yeah, I don't know how this is gonna go. We're gonna see. Which I guess I already have them in initiative, which I didn't even realize. Okay. So Perry convinces moles to free him from robot arms. And I like the idea that these like giant, like I'm just imagining like big robot arms like holding Perry in place, but there's some like what was the word I'm looking for? Like some panel on the wall that has like a big release button that Perry just tells the moles to go over and hit, and that just release him. So now Perry is free and charging towards Dr. Doof to stop him. And we're gonna enter into some combat. So let's wait, did I already roll initiative? I was say Dr. Doof should not be first. It should be Perry. Okay. So we'll say that they're pretty far away from each other. So this also, I don't have any maps created. This is literally the only scene I have created, and I know combat isn't going to be too serious today, so I didn't worry about it. But one thing that I want to try GURPS hopefully again at some point with maybe a different setting and whatnot. But one thing I think is interesting is it uses hexes for its combat, which I think is interesting. Seems like there's pros and cons for if you want to use like squares for combat on like a TTRPG or hexes. Everything I've seen, I feel like hexes is the way. I don't know if I've really played any RPGs that have like hexes by default, at least for combat. There's like Forbidden Lands, that's like a hex crawl, but that's not like a hex combat. But this, and I don't think there's anything as far as I know of, there's not really much in the GURPS Lite about this, but I think in like the basic set and other stuff, you'll start getting stuff about like how you're positioning, which way you're facing on a hex matters, and then you kind of get like flanking rules, like what like D&D has, and probably other RPGs, where it's like, oh, if you're attacking like the side of a character, you get like a more of a bonus, and if you're attacking like from behind, then you get more of a bonus, stuff like that. So, which I think is cool. That's like with hexes, you could do that a lot more easily than you would if you just had like squares for combat. So anyway, we'll say that they're, I don't know, like 2 squares apart. We'll say each square is what's their basic move? 5 feet? 6 feet? We'll actually like map this out now. How far is this? 15 yards. What the heck is a yard? Just joking. I forgot it's in yards and meters is what they use for the hexes also. I remember when I was watching like tutorial video about it, the one guy kept going, he's like, yeah, and your move speed is 6. He was like, hexes, yards, meters. Like hexes, yard, meters. Like he would say like all 3, so I guess it's pretty interchangeable. But Perry the Platypus has a move of 6, so he's still pretty far away. Yeah, I don't know why I made him so far away. I mean, I think he's just on the other side of the room. So that'd be 6 yards. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we'll say he's able to get close, but not quite to Dr. Doof. And so Dr. Doof is busy wheeling his innator out to the balcony, getting ready to fire it, getting it warmed up, maybe calibrated, stuff like that. Let's do a quick contest roll to see, does Dr. Doofenshmirtz even hear Perry approaching? And so what I might do is do a quick contest between Dr. Doofenshmirtz's perception and Perry's stealth. Does he have stealth? Do a stealth check. Yeah, he's stealthy. Oh, he's real stealthy. So we're probably going to pass, but let's see. So quick contest once again. The number doesn't really matter that's rolled. What matters is how much the margin of success, how much you succeed by. So we'll have Dr. Doof go first. How well is he listening? Oof, not very well. Missed by -4. Wait. -5 for range? Wait, what? Do I have a... What? Why did that do -5? I should have missed by 1. Oh, wait, did I... What? I'm confused. Oh no, I'm very confused. Let me try that again. Why did that do -5? Okay. It was better this time. No, it was actually worse. But it failed by 2. And then let's see how stealthy Perry is, because Perry can still fail, and then it's just, whoever has the better margin of success. I don't think Perry's gonna fail. He's dexterity +3. He's kind of cracked at stealth. Ooh. Yeah, he succeeded by 12. Yeah, Perry is super stealthy. So, we'll say that, yeah, Dr. Doof just does nothing. That's one of the maneuvers you can do. Normally, it's like what you're doing by default when you go there, but it auto drops range as a modifier, selecting a character. Oh, was it? Okay, okay. I was wondering if it had something to do with selected characters. That's why I clicked around. Okay, that's good to know. That's cool. I'm still learning the Foundry module a bit, and especially, like I said, I know modifiers is something I'm going to be messing up, but I'll try my best. So that was a cool quick contest. And yeah, Perry he got a critical success. He succeeded by 12. So yeah, he is, Dr. Doof is none the wiser that Perry has escaped and is sneaking up on him. So Dr. Doof just skips his turn, just getting the machine ready, calibrating it, all that stuff. And Perry is still not quite within melee range. Not quite there. So he's going to have to do... Last turn, he just did the move maneuver. This time, he will have to do move and attack. That's cool. You can actually select that here. Doesn't really matter, but we'll go ahead and do it. Is it this one? That's attack. Is it this one? That's feint. Is it this one? No. Move and attack. There we go. It literally doesn't matter, but whatever. Okay, so he's going to move up to Dr. Doof and then attack at him with his sharp claws. He'll do a sharp claws attack. So I have to do this with a -4 penalty from move and attack, and I can just drag this to current modifiers. I can drag it. How do I just click it? I can just click it. Great. Wait, 1 yard steps are allowed. Oh, wait, really? Wait, oh, for attacks? Oh, so you can still, so wait. So you're telling me there's move and attack, and then attack, but then you could still move when you just attack, but not, well, you do when you move and attack. That's confusing. Where does it say that? Under the melee attacks? I must have missed that. There's not even that many rules in the GURPS site, and I still am missing stuff, but hey, that's how it goes. I think he doesn't get a dodge. I would agree, because he's like gonna be surprised. Where's the melee attack section? Okay, here we go. Weapon. Oh, it's in campaigns. Oh, see, I don't have that. I don't know that. I'll take your word for it though. So you could move a yard when you attack. That checks out. So I'll just do a normal attack then. Hey, I'll take that. So we'll get rid of the modifier I added. But then do I want to, you know, if I got the sneak attack, I might do an all-out attack because he's not going to be able to attack me this round. Well, he might. He actually could. I guess it's not round based, so do I care about dodging? Yeah, I do. Let's just do a normal attack. Let's just attack him with my sharp claws slashing. Ooh. I needed 15 and I got 15. Nice. So yeah, I kind of agree that I don't think he gets a dodge, so we're just chilling with that. Because dodge, I think, yeah, it's only when you can see your attacker. And right now, I'm gonna say like his back is turned. He's completely unaware that he's about to get his butt whooped by a little platypus. That's just how it goes sometimes. So yeah, we just roll for damage, I guess. 3 points of damage, and so. See, Dr. Doof only has 8 health points. If I click and drag this onto his character, I guess I don't need to apply quietly. It's not a secret. Did that update? That did update. It just didn't update there. Cool. Okay, so he has 5 health points. As Perry the Platypus just comes up, punches him in the back of the head. And we're on to Dr. Doofenshmirtz's turn. Which he doesn't really have weapons. He doesn't have weapons. He doesn't have attacks. What I maybe should have gave him is like a grapple. But like he always has some invention or something to try to get out of trouble. But right now, let's just hand-to-hand combat. He's just gonna try to just punch Perry the Platypus. Just try to knock him out. He fails by 2. All right, good stuff. So then it's back to Perry. So, I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, Perry is more worried about destroying the invention than obviously, like, he doesn't want to kill Dr. Doofenshmirtz. He's not really trying to harm him. He's just trying to stop whatever shenanigans he's up to. So I think I need to, like, either hit him, and I could just take him out and then the day is solved, but I think it needs to be like he does some crazy stuff to like try to take out the invention, and then that also takes him out. So I don't know. I think on this for a second. How can I make this a little bit more interesting than just, you know, punch. I wonder if Perry could maybe convince the moles to help him fight Dr. Doof, and like maybe I like this better. What if he gets the moles to like bite them wires in the machine to break it while he's distracting and fighting with Dr. Doofenshmirtz? I think that would work pretty well. So the moles got him out. So let's see. Let's make another reaction roll. I'm going to add another +2 to this reaction roll. Let's see what we get to see if the moles will help. Oof, that's a 7. It's not very good. So will the moles help out Perry the Platypus? I think it's at this point unlikely. We'll go with unlikely. Yeah, that's a no. So they will help him get out, but they're not going to help him anymore. They don't really care. They realize this guy's not worth his time. So okay. The Escapinator, and then what are Phineas and Ferb are in their legal arc? They started up a legal firm. They're in the courthouse because we got to also figure out like how whatever goes down here screws up whatever happens over there. So maybe, I'm just trying to think. Maybe at this point, like Phineas and Ferb have already saved their friend from the legal issues that they were dealing with at the library, got him unbanned, and their friend is so appreciative that they made a statue to Phineas and Ferb, calling them like the best lawyers in the tri-state area. And it's like both of them in like suits with like suitcases and whatnot. And there's a big statue somewhere in town put up. So we'll say P and F save friend from legal issues, and friend commissions a statue of P and F as the best lawyers in tri-state area. Because there's got to be something that kind of gets messed up because of Dr. Doof and Perry fighting. That's just how the show works. Because Candace is always trying to bust the boys and get their mom to see what Phineas and Ferb are up to. And so I think Candace would be trying to show their mom, like, hey, look at this statue of Phineas and Ferb that are talking about they're the best lawyers in the tri-state area. Like this will be the proof that I need. It's right here in stone. It's not going anywhere. So Candace goes to grab her mom to show her the statue. And at some point, now we got to figure out, okay, there's this statue. How does whatever Perry and Dr. Doofenshmirtz do, how does it destroy the statue? That's kind of like the last thing we got to figure out. Which I think, we've established that the escapinator is, it mind controls moles to dig tunnels. And so, I think it's like maybe during the fight, maybe Perry could it bumps the laser right as it's about to go off, and instead of pointing at the prison, it points at this big statue of Phineas and Ferb. So then the moles just dig a tunnel under that, and then the statue just goes into the ground or something. Something like that, I think is kind of fun. I don't know. Escaping air is fire, but Perry redirects it. Yeah, something I like something like that. Yeah. So maybe that's what. Maybe Perry will make another attack, but then on Dr. Doofenshmirtz's turn, maybe he's gonna try to fire it, and then that whole series of events can happen. So Perry's gonna make another attack to try to stop him. Just doing a sharp claws / attack. And succeeds, made it by 5, dealing more damage. Hopefully, surely, 3 points of damage. It's not nothing. Dr. Doof is down to 2 health. He only had 8 to start, but he's down to 2 health. Not doing so good. But, oh shoot, that shouldn't have, well, hold on, back up. I forgot. Unfairly, Dr. Doofenshmirtz should have had a chance to dodge that time. He absolutely should have. That's unfair on my part. So yeah, he doesn't have anything to parry or block with. Not that parry, but parry with a weapon. Let's see if he can dodge. Yo, that's a critical failure. Okay, so maybe this is how we'll play it out, is that, Perry tries to hit, swipe at Dr. Doof. He manages to hit him, and in the process causes Dr. Doofenshmirtz to fall over onto the escapinator, accidentally starting it and moving it ever so slightly, so that this brand new statue of Phineas and Ferb being the best lawyers in the tri-state area instead gets targeted with this escapinator. The moles come up from under the ground and dig a tunnel that essentially gets rid of the statue. And that's that. Is there any sort of, let me ask Mythic, is there any sort of like self-destruct button on this machine? I think likely. Let's see. Is there? Oh, exceptional. Yes, there is a massive red button. Did Dr. Doofenshmirtz accidentally hit this when he fell into it and did everything else? It was a critical failure. So not only did he get hit, he moved the machine, it fired. Did it also hit the self-destruct button? We'll leave it unsure. I don't know. Did it? Did he? Yes, he did. This was quite the fall that Dr. Doof just had. But yeah, he fell right into the machine, bumped it out of the way, accidentally fired it, and hit the self-destruct button all in one big tumble. And so the machine just starts beeping, self-destruct mode activated. And Perry, you know, realizing what's going on, he's gonna bail. I'm trying to think if I want to maybe do a test for that. Because we're both still in combat. It's technically Dr. Doofenshmirtz's turn. They were next. They're pretty close to each other. So what's he gonna do at this point? Like I said, it's not like he wants. Neither of these people want to kill each other, right? Like Dr. Doofenshmirtz just is trying to do his schemes. Perry is just trying to stop his schemes. I don't think either of them really, you know, want the other one dead or really injured. They're just doing it as a means to stop them. So self-destruct mode enabled. Perry's like, I need to get out of here. We'll just say, you know what, we're out of combat. We'll just say that. And that Perry is going to, let's see, see if anything that would help. He's got the escape. Maybe we can have them both roll on their escape skill to see how well they escape this situation with this machine that's about to explode. So Perry's gonna roll first. How stealthy is his escape? He succeeds by 4. So he's got some equipment from the agency, so he was able to you know, in the all of the distraction with pushing Dr. Doof over, the laser firing, self-destruct mode enabled, he's out of there. So he gets his parachute and just bails. Okay. And then what about Dr. Doof? So he also has escape, but you said mechanic. I like that. So maybe he does try to like stop it, like stop the self-destruct instead of trying to escape. I do feel like that would maybe be more realistic. So he's going to try to stop the self-destruct. Let me ask Mythic, is it possible to stop the self-destruct? Because sometimes once it's going, it's just going. But is it possible to stop it? I think it's very likely. Like, is there a chance? No. Okay, Mythic said no. But you know what? Dr. Doof maybe doesn't know that. He thinks there's a chance, so he's gonna do it anyway, but it's gonna be pretty futile. So he's gonna try to fix his innator. Stop it from self-destructing. Okay. So he did succeed. But maybe, yeah, so he did succeed. What would that mean though? Because I did ask him, I think, is it possible to stop it? But then he did successfully do something. Which I think. I mean, I think that he maybe did stop the self-destruct. Well, I asked Mythic and it said you can't stop it. So what did he do? He attempted to, but then I think he just got blown up. He just got blown up. Yeah, I don't know. Like maybe there was a way to stop it, but then at some point, because I think I mentioned like the moles or like biting the wire or something. Or no, I was gonna have him do that, but they didn't. But I don't know. Maybe he meant to do that to add like a way to overwrite the self-destruct, and then he just forgot to. He got busy, so I don't know. He just didn't do that part, so he blows up. And of course says his iconic line, "Curse you, Perry the Platypus." And Perry flies away on his parachute and lands right. So we'll say that the hole that the statue fell into was also near a source of water, so it kind of filled up to, there's this big statue, then there was this big hole in the ground that the statue fell into, and now it's turned into like a little bit of a pond. And so we'll say that so Candace is trying to get his brothers in trouble by showing their mom, like, hey, look at the statue. Like, my brothers are like legal experts apparently. And then she comes up to where the statue was, and she's like, see, and she turns around, and all that's there is, instead of a statue, there's just this little hole that's like a small pond now, filled with water, and Perry the Platypus just sitting there. And the mom's like, I don't know what you're talking about. There's just a little pond with Perry sitting in it. And the Phineas and Ferb turn around. They're like, oh, there you are, Perry. And there you go. That's the episode. Roll credits. Okay. That was fun. I always want to do one more episode. I'm going to take a real quick break, and we'll try to do at least one more episode. And this one will probably go a lot quicker because I kind of have an idea of how I want this to work. But yeah, I'm going to take a real quick break. You feel free to do that yourself. Get some water, all that good stuff, and I'll be back in like 2 or 3 minutes. Okay. Where is the right button? There we go. Right? Hello, everybody. Welcome back. All right. Filling my water bottle. Make sure you're staying hydrated out there. I know I haven't really been drinking water that much this stream. Okay. So we're going to do one more episode. Hopefully this one will go a little bit quicker. Just kind of figuring out how this is going to work. But I liked how that went. That went pretty much exactly how I kind of envisioned it going, more or less. Obviously not the specific details of everything that went down, but the general outline So I'm pretty happy. Dr. Doof is now back up to 8 health. He can't die. He's pretty unkillable. We're gonna go to episode 2. So it's a new day. Another summer day. Another day that Phineas and Ferb find themselves sitting in the backyard of their house, bored and trying to figure out what are we going to do today. Maybe we'll loop back to the earlier ideas, but I'm going to get up a couple more ideas. This character motivation seemed pretty good, so we'll see where that leads to. I'll find something a little bit more interesting for them to do. I mean, I like the legal one, given what I was given role wise. Diminish increase. That seems super vague. We're gonna just delete that. That's a little too vague. Okay, obligation. They have jury duty. Pleasure. That I don't know how to make that work. Obligation. Give me something else. Friend nature. Okay. Friend in nature. That I can work with. That's something. Oh man, my nose is running. Friend in nature. So one thing that's also, there's a lot of characters in the show, a lot of like side characters that appear. One character that usually appears most episode is Phineas's friend Isabel, who is a fireside girl, essentially like a Girl Scout. So maybe that could be something with nature there. Like I said, like they do crazy stuff. Like they were like, oh, it's hot out today. Let's just make a ski resort in our backyard, or it's hot. Let's make an entire beach in our backyard. So they do some pretty, crazy stuff. Or they, take on tasks like becoming professional race car drivers or building a roller coaster. So friend in nature. I mean, it could also, like one episode, they were just like hunting a mummy. So friend in nature. I mean, they could become Bigfoot hunters. That could be fun. Friend in nature. Get one more to work with. If not, I mean, we can always go back to the first one earlier and try to figure out what it was the distrust outside, figuring out what was going on with that. Because that definitely could have been something. I just want to see rare misfortune. Rare misfortune? Or misfortune rare, I mean, it's all the same. That's a tough one. Friend in nature. I kind of like friend in nature a bit better. But rare misfortune, like that could be, I don't know, like one thing that just pops in my mind with rare misfortune is like, I'm just thinking, what's something that's misfortunate that's very rare to happen. So it could be stuff like, it's kind of out there, but like getting struck by lightning. That's pretty, that's a rare, unfortunate thing that can happen. But then what would they be doing? They could they could become storm chasers trying to harness the power of lightning. That's something. I don't know. What's another rare misfortune? Yeah, let me know if any of y'all in chat have any ideas. Let me know. Or for friend nature or nature friend. I mean, there's some simple stuff, but like with these examples from the show, like they go kind of crazy, big ideas. Making a ski resort, making a backyard beach. So I'm trying to think of some like kind of crazy, big ideas that they could do for this episode. Misfortune rare. What's another rare misfortune? Okay, what if it was like there's like an asteroid coming to Earth and they like spend their day trying to make like a space laser to save Earth? Like that's a pretty big thing to go down, but that's definitely right up their alley of like they were bored and they found an old telescope in their attic and are just looking around at the sky and see a meteorite coming towards Earth that for some reason nobody else noticed but them, and so they take it on as their responsibility to save Earth from this meteor. I kind of like that. That's and you know how they save it. You know, they could just try to blow it up, but that doesn't seem like them. They would probably do something weird, like build a giant trampoline where the meteor is gonna land to bounce it back into space. Like that's Phineas and Ferb style right there. Something like that, or like, yeah, I don't know, something along those lines. The giant trampoline, it's not bad. It's not bad. Okay, so I like this concept, so I'm gonna roll with it. So E and F found an old telescope in their attic, and while looking at the sky, noticed a distant, so we'll say asteroid that seems to be heading towards Earth. Right, asteroid is when it's still in the sky, but meteor is like when it hits, right? Or am I completely misspeaking? Meteorite. What's the okay? Yeah, to be honest, I don't really know the difference between asteroid, a meteor, and meteorite. I know one of them is like once it enters the atmosphere or like hits the Earth. See, I don't know these things. These are things I don't know. But the things, the amount of useless knowledge I got in my head, oh, crazy. Okay, no, I like this as a basic idea. Great. So they find an old telescope, asteroids coming towards Earth, and they're gonna stop it. You know, Phineas hits Ferb with the Ferb. I know what we're gonna do today. We're gonna save the Earth. Save the Earth. Ow. I mean, like I said, just doing like cartoon logic TV. Like, these are kids. Like, I like the idea that they want to try to, unless I come up with a better idea, I like the idea that they're gonna try to pinpoint where the meteor is gonna land. And let's just say, for convenience sake, it's gonna be the tri-state area, right? Where they are is where it's gonna strike. And they want to try to build some contraption to stop it. I like the idea of a giant trampoline to bounce it back into space, but unless I come up with something different, I'm going to write that down. Appears to be, it's more like calculated. I don't know, projected maybe. Okay, that's good. Projected to hit tri-state area. They want to build a giant trampoline to bounce it back into space. Great. This is perfect. I also like the idea that they're kids. They just want an excuse to build a giant trampoline. Maybe they're like notifying the government. They're like, this is a thing that's happening. This is the way we can stop it. But really, like, they just kind of want to build the world's largest trampoline and bounce on it a bit before this giant meteor strikes. So, okay, that's what Phineas and Ferb are up to today. At some point, when they're looking through the telescope, they notice Perry's missing. They're like, where's Perry? So that's what the boys are up to. What is Dr. Doofenshmirtz up to? So let's ask the age-old question, is this money related? Since the last one was, is this some get-rich-quick scheme? I'm gonna go with unlikely. Even though most of the time it's likely. Okay, no, it is. Dr. Doof is back on the grind trying to earn a buck with some crazy means. So That's what he's back back doing. Dr. Doof is trying to get rich quick. And how is he doing this? Let's get some mythic rolls for motivation. Hope, loyalty. Was he starting a cult? Someone mentioned earlier, like an MLM operation. Like that'd be funny if, well, it would both be funny if he got involved in one or if he also started one, but then like didn't. Maybe he started one but didn't like realize what he was doing. Like that would be kind of funny. Hope and loyalty both kind of give that vibe of like, you know, a cult leader or something like that. I'm gonna roll another one, but that's not a bad set of words. Hope and loyalty. At the end of the day, whatever he's doing for today, he's trying to get rich. He's trying to make some money by doing something to the poor people in the tri-state area to make him more rich. So we'll put him back in his little tower for now. Okay, so the other words are serve, investment. I like hope and loyalty. I think we'll roll with that. I just need to piece it together a little bit. But what could it be? And also, once again, we gotta also think down the line of like, how is whatever this is gonna do, like how's it gonna kind of intertwine with whatever Phineas and Ferb are up to? So Phineas and Ferb are gonna be off making a giant trampoline to bounce an asteroid back into space. Dr. Doof is trying to start a multi-level marketing scheme of some sort. I like that idea. I want him to like, but I also like the idea that maybe he like I said, he kind of starts it like inadvertently, like not purposely as like an MLM, but it turns into that. Just like at one point, maybe he's even like as and later down the line when he's monologuing to Perry, he like has a diagram and he literally draws it out and it's just like straight up a pyramid. I like that idea. So hope and loyalty. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Anybody in chat got any ideas? Hope and loyalty. What could Dr. Doof be doing to make some money? Like I said, I also think it would be fun to kind of keep it somewhat related or like in the same realm as what Phineas and Ferb are doing. You know, like last episode, they were serving as lawyers and just trying to free their friend, and Dr. Doof is doing stuff with prisons. You know, this time they're trying to stop an asteroid by building a giant trampoline. So either Dr. Doof should be doing something that involves space of some sort, or like trampolines, or like jumping. Like maybe he's created a jumpinator that's a machine that generates electricity if you jump, but there's some weird criteria behind it. I don't know. Okay, I kind of like that idea. Like maybe he wants to sell people a product under the guise of like, oh, this is like a fun, I'm going to use a trampoline again, but that's the only thing I can come to mind, but like a mini trampoline, but it actually is a mini trampoline that when you jump on it makes energy, which he plans to capture and sell back to the tri-state area to make money. That's something. That doesn't have to be it. And that's not really a multi-level marketing scheme, which this doesn't have to be, but I liked that idea. Hope and loyalty. Yeah, I don't know. This is tough. I'll maybe roll one more. Just get some more ideas flowing. But I do like that one. But you know what? Maybe there'll be another one that's even better right around the corner. Ambition and success. That's pretty vague. Not a huge fan of that one. I I think we're gonna probably stick with hope and loyalty. I just need to figure out how to make it work, make it fun. Some crazy scheme. Let's maybe get like a descriptor. Like what? I don't know. Just get more ideas. Gladly average. That is the most unhelpful descriptor may have ever rolled with Mythic. Thanks. Okay, emotionally faded. Okay. Hope and loyalty. Yeah, I'm really trying to think, because he needs to be building some big device like he always does to do some purpose to make him money. What could that device be? I mean, I kind of like the idea that he's like, it could be something simple, like he's trying to sell some device to people with some ulterior purpose, but then in the end, like that device will generate power, which he plans to sell back to the tri-state area to make money. I kind of like, and then like maybe there's incentive for the people that use the product to also sell the product, and that's how it can be kind of like a multi-level marketing thing. But what could that product be? It's a trampoline. I feel like that's a little too on the nose with like Phineas and Ferb building a big trampoline. Like it needs to be something a little bit different. It could be something with like asteroids or space or jumping. It could be like a fancy jump rope. Like, I don't know, something like that. But it also could be like, yeah, I don't know, a pair of shoes that generates electricity when you walk. I don't know. Also, it could be a little bit more like out there, like, you know, like Dr. Doofenshmirtz comes up with an entirely new sport that he creates an arena for that. I don't know. That's just, I'm just throwing random stuff out there at this point. I don't know. I like hope and loyalty, but it's good, but I'm not coming up with much. Emotionally faded. I don't know what to do with that. I'm gonna go back to more character motivations. Nature. Path. Okay, something like hiking related. Nature and path. Okay. I kind of like that. What if it was... I mean, the first thing that come to mind is dumb, but that's, you know, it's part of what we're doing here is like, okay, nature and path, that made me think hiking. That he could have some laser that like creates a shortcut. This is dumb, but like it creates a shortcut on a hike. So it's like, oh, you're trying to hike up to the top of the mountain. Don't feel like taking the 10-mile path. Like, take my shortcut and get right to the top of the mountain. And then obviously he would charge people to use this shortcut, and that's how he'd be trying to make money. Something stupid like that. I don't know. Nature path. I kind of like I don't know what he could do. My mind keeps coming back to like trampolines because that's what Phineas and Ferb are up to, building a giant trampoline. But you could like make a portal gun that just takes it to the top of the path, which also like kind of defeats the purpose, I feel like, of a hike. You know, a lot of it's just for the journey, not the destination. But to that, Dr. Doofenshmirtz doesn't care. He just wants to make some money, and yeah, this is whatever he's coming up with is clearly the best way he can think of doing that. So. Okay, we're gonna go with that because I can't think of much else. So we're gonna go with he is building the hikeinator. Is it? I mean, portal is just like, I don't know, a device to create a shortcut to long hiking trails, which he'll charge money for. That's all I got. That's the best I could come up with. Okay. So he's building the Hikeinator. He's trying to create a device to create a shortcut for long hiking trails. I like the idea that maybe there's also like, he wants to use this as a way to get rich, but there's probably some tragic backstory about how he went on some long hike and got like all worn out or whatever. So he's just like, it serves as a double purpose for him. What exactly can the Hikeinator do to get somebody to the end of the trail quickly? That's what we got to figure out. I don't think this is going to help me, but I'm going to roll in the Mythic Actions table. What? Because the only thing I can think of is like a portal, something like that that just literally teleports you. But I feel like it needs to be a little bit more weird. Escape military. What does that even mean? Yeah, I don't know. He makes a gun that can make trees come alive, and they can just like lift you to the top of the mountain. That doesn't have anything to do with escape military. That just is coming off the idea of the Hikeinator has to get you up to the top of the trail somehow. That's all I could think of. So we're gonna just go with that. I was gonna say it turns trees, I guess, sentient. This is what I'm looking for. I was gonna say it makes them alive, but like it turns trees sentient and what am I trying to say? Turns trees sentient to allow the trees to move. I don't know, move. I always say carry hikers to the top of the trail. So he's got walking, talking trees. Maybe not talking, but walking? Who knows? Okay, that's the idea. That's what I got. So, so Perry's gone. Phineas and Ferb are busy notifying the government that, hey, there's an asteroid coming towards Earth. And the only way it's going to hit the tri-state area. The only way to stop it is by building a giant trampoline to bounce it back into space. It's too big to destroy. It's too big to destroy. It's too close to come up with other plans. So that's their plan. In the meantime, Dr. Doofenshmirtz is trying to build a Hikeinator, a device that will make trees sentient and carry hikers to the top of trails for a fee. Specifically, this has to be for a fee because how else is he going to make money? He's trying to make money off of lazy hikers that just want to, get to the top for their Instagram picture, but not want to do the work of actually hiking the mountain. Pretty good idea, if I do say so, Dr. Doof. Okay, so Perry gets notified that what could Dr. Doofenshmirtz be doing that alerts the organization of what he's up to? Is it just that he's, I don't know. Perry gets notified that Dr. Doof has been quiet lately and reported has been seen going on hikes and buying house plants. There you go. So it's not a big threat, but it's kind of the lack of threat that's, normally Dr. Doofenshmirtz is up to something, but recently he's not. It's been quiet. They've been getting radio silence from him, and they just see that they're always keeping tabs on him, and they just see he's been going on hikes, buying houseplants. Yeah, so they're like, okay, this is probably a good thing, but go to make sure it's not a bad thing. It's kind of what they're going after. So, okay. Let's go back to Dr. Doofenshmirtz, and he is prepping to make his Hikinator that's going to create sentient trees to bring people to the end of hiking trails for a fee, so he can make a lot of money. So we're gonna have him do another. What did I say? I think it was the engineering role to create the Hikinator. Which once again, I could go and do some more for all of this. Maybe go through the process of him actually collecting the parts and building it. But one dice roll is good enough for, I think, what we're doing today. And he made it by 9, so he was definitely able. Maybe I could also add modifiers to these rolls if I wanted to, depending on like how difficult this machine would be to make. But I think what we're doing is good enough. So, okay. Hikinator has been created. How about this? So Dr. Doof, I don't love my idea of that. He just really hasn't been doing anything. Has been spotted creating a tree house in a nearby forest. I like that Dr. Doof has been, he's been making a tree house as like a secondary base to be closer to where these sentient trees, or where these trees are going to be, so he can like test it. Okay. And just so we're at a location that's not this building, even though I'm going to keep using this as like the backdrop, just because that's all I have prepared. So, okay. So Perry gets notified that he's been spotted in a treehouse in a nearby forest. So that's where Perry heads, and have him roll up and do the old. He probably goes to the place a little bit differently this time, so probably not just like a hover car instead of forest. So I like the idea that maybe he takes some boat down like a river. Maybe there's like a long kind of montage of like Perry getting to where Dr. Doofenshmirtz is, but then eventually sees the tree house, the tree fort that Dr. Doofenshmirtz has been making, and decides he's gonna kick down the door and see what's going on. So I guess we don't really need to roll for like kicking down the door. He just barges in. And of course, Dr. Doof, as always, is, surprised but not surprised, because he was expecting Perry, as always. And how about, so Dr. Doofenshmirtz has this whole ray is going to make trees come to life. So I like the idea that he already has been kind of testing it, and he has some like sentient plants in his tree house. Specifically, like I like the idea that he has some like vines that he could control to tell to like restrain Perry, so he can monologue. So yeah, as soon as Perry busts down the treehouse door, Dr. Doof tells the vines, they're like, he's like, get him. And let's see if Perry gets got. Yikes. Yeah, Perry doesn't dodge that one. So there's like a couple of vines, so like one comes after him, which he dodges, but Perry doesn't see. There was another one coming from like another angle, and it grabs him, and unfortunately, as he may struggle, he gets restrained pretty quickly. So now Dr. Doofenshmirtz can monologue, and Dr. Doofenshmirtz talks about his tragic childhood coming to this hiking path, and always liking the view at the top, but maybe he was never the most fit kid, so he was never liked the actual hike itself, but enjoyed the result at the top of the mountain that they're at. So he, you know, wanting to solve his own problem and make some money off of it, decided to make the Hikenator, which when pointed at trees will make them become sentient and help get people to the top of the mountain in a fraction of the time for a small fee. Probably not that small of a fee, but, you know, a fee. And that's his whole plan. So let's see where this goes. I guess it's not really that evil. He's just, well, I don't know, making sentient trees is maybe not like a great idea, and it's just to kind of make them do your bidding. Like, I don't know, that's kind of maybe not great. Okay, so how does Perry escape the vines? You know, there's probably no animals nearby to help him this time, and that's fine. I wouldn't want to like come up. I want to come up with something a little bit different. Does Perry have something on him that could help him escape? Some tool, weapon, item? I think likely. If they're just vines, they're probably somewhat easy to like cut through. If he had like something. Okay, he has something on him that could maybe help. So he's restrained. He's got his hat. He like turned his head and he had like a blade in his hat or something. I don't know. How could he escape the vines? It devastates the animal homes. Oh, the Hikenator? Yeah. Yeah. Or maybe like, yeah. It's probably not gonna be good for the environment, whatever he does. Like maybe, you know, Dr. Doofus, like he wants to start with just these trees in this forest, but if it works good, he wants to make all trees sentient and serve his bidding, which would just not be good for the environment or anybody besides him. So yeah, he wants to have like an army of these, you know, tree soldiers. Sure. But how does Perry get out? He also has his tail. I know in like one episode he like does some crazy stuff where he like hits like a screw with his tail that slingshots into a thing that hits a button. Like he, you know, talking cartoon logic here, so anything can happen. But I did say he has some device on him that could help. So either it's something he can maybe get to or something with his hat that can help him break out of these vines that are restraining him. Now, what exactly could that be? I mean, yeah, like I kind of hinted at earlier, it could be something like he has some sort of like, I don't know, like saw or blade in the side of his hat that like he could like start up and then just like tilt his head over to cut the vines. That could be something. And maybe we'll go with that unless I can think of something else. Like I said, there could be something laying on the ground in this tree fork that he could like hit with his tail or something, but like his arms, are his legs restrained or is it just his arms? Are his legs restrained? Probably. Yes, legs are restrained too. So he would just be able to like move his head and move his tail. Is what he's working with here. Yeah, I don't know. Might just go with a little like a mini chainsaw on the brim of his hat that he's able to like cut through plants with, I guess. I don't know. That's what I can come up with. So we'll just roll with that. So we did say he has that on him. Well, Mythic says that he has something on him that can help, and we'll say it's that. So I do think that if I say it's like a chainsaw type thing, well, that's gonna be loud. So we'll just say it's like some just like a blade. Like there's a blade in the side of his hat that he could just like use to kind of slowly whittle away the vines. Okay, so I like that. So Perry gets restrained by vines, but escapes with a blade in the rim of his hat. Good stuff. Okay. So Perry has escaped. Dr. Doofenshmirtz is he aware? I think it's probably likely. I guess we could do like a perception versus whatever. I feel like, you know, in this building, like the last episode, like that was a pretty big room that they were in. So I imagine they were pretty far, but I'm imagining this tree house is pretty small and it's going to be a lot harder to get like a sneak attack. So maybe he might be able to get away free, but that's probably about it. Oh, and I just thought of a fun idea how this could go wrong. Or maybe right. I don't know. Okay, sorry. I'm just thinking. Okay. So Perry has escaped with the blade in his hat, escaped from the vines, and now he needs to destroy the Hykenator and stop Dr. Doof. And also, once again, we got to keep in mind the other thing of Phineas and Ferb have probably at this point already built the giant trampoline to bounce the asteroid back in space and save the world. Now, we got to figure out how Dr. Doofenshmirtz building the Hykenator in a forest with Perry the Platypus about to stop him, how that is going to somehow ruin whatever Phineas and Ferb are doing. That's going to be the other trick. The other thing we gotta connect the dots on, which I think is fun. I think that's part of the fun of doing this kind of structure is like, yeah, we have this structure, but it's kind of fun. It's fun figuring out how we get to the, you know, the end or the spot we want to be at. So Phineas and Ferb have built this giant trampoline. We'll say at this point, they've probably already saved the day. Like the asteroid bounced back in space and maybe they're just going to keep the trampoline set up. No, they wouldn't, but well, I don't know. Yeah, maybe the forest was an open area that they could build this trampoline. So they're also in this nearby, like they're at like maybe in a nearby forest. Yeah, they're like in the same forest. Sure, why not? That Perry and Dr. Doofenshmirtz are in. And maybe the intention with Phineas and Ferb is like they're gonna try to keep the trampoline up. Once keep it as a cool like attraction that people could jump on the world's largest trampoline. But then how can a machine that's purpose is to make sentient trees, how can that be used to get rid of a giant trampoline? How do we make a giant trampoline disappear? It's like a magic trick. We got to figure this out. Does zapping the trampoline make it sentient? That could be something. I don't know. This is actually tough. At this point, Perry's out and he's about to stop Dr. Doof, but we got to figure out, first off, will the Hykenator go off? Because I feel like it might. Like Dr. Doof might at least be able to try it out on a tree to help him out during this like kind of fight. But we got to figure out how this causes a giant trampoline used to deflect an asteroid. How we make that disappear? That's a thinker, all right. I'm coming up with not much. So okay, I got an idea. It's maybe not the best idea, but yeah, maybe, I don't know. Let me think on this for a sec. One idea I did have is like maybe, so we already kind of established that there are like these sentient vines, and that maybe there's more of them, and this ray goes off, creates more sentient vines that are near the trampoline, and I don't know, when the meteor hits the trampoline, the vines attach to the meteor, so the meteor bounces away, but then the trampoline gets attached to the meteor and gets kind of dragged away with it. I don't know how else you're going to really get rid of a giant trampoline besides taking it along with the meteor, with sentient vines. That's the only way I really see that working out. Yeah, I don't know how else. Like, maybe that's not bad. Could do something with like tree sap, where something happens, or the trampoline gets full of like sticky tree sap. So like when the asteroid bounces off, the trampoline just kind of goes with it. That is something. I don't know if that's great. Something along those lines. Like, I feel like however the trampoline disappears, it kind of probably needs to disappear with the meteor that it deflects. Now, how does that happen? Well, it's the results of Perry and Dr. Doof fighting. Yeah, I don't know. Tree sap or sentient vines are my two ideas. How else could this work? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, neither of those ideas are terrible, I don't think. I mean, they're not the best, but I can't think of much else right now. It's getting rid of a massive trampoline. That's not easy. Given what the Hykenator does, makes non-sentient things sentient. Like, it's not like you can make the trampoline sentient. Then what? Like, okay, now you have a giant sentient trampoline. Like, what good is that going to do you? So... we'll go with the vines idea, because I really can't think of much else. And yeah, so we'll say Perry breaks out. Asteroid has not been deflected yet, but it's coming right at the trampoline as these two are fighting. Let me do another stealth check, quick contest roll versus Dr. Doofenshmirtz's perception. So stealth, there's no way he doesn't nail this. Made it by 3. Dr. Doof, his perception, ooh, critical success, made it by 7. So this place is a lot more smaller. So Perry the Platypus, being as stealthy as he is not sneaking up on Dr. Doof here. Especially like this tree house, it's a tree house, it's made of wood. So imagine like you could be as stealthy as you want, but you walking on old wood, it's gonna creak. You know, you're trying to walk around like an old house type deal. That's what Perry's dealing with. So even though he escapes, he's trying to sneak up on Dr. Doof. He notices, and they got to go into initiative. So begin combat. Dr. Doof noticing Perry come at him, quickly grabs, he's right by the Hykenator, so he had it pointed at a big tree at the base of the mountain, but then turns to the tree that they are in. Like, he points it basically, like he swings it around, pointing it inside of the tree house and fires it, turning the tree house that they are in into a sentient tree. And that's what he's doing on his turn. So Perry, seeing this, kind of freaking out. He's across the room, so he is going to have to do the old move and attack. I would say he's more than a yard. Well, maybe not. I don't know. I imagine this treehouse is small, so we'll say he's close enough just to do a normal attack. And he will do a sharp claws slash attack. So let's see how that goes. Looks great. That hits. Dr. Doof does get an opportunity to dodge, which he will attempt to. And that's a failure. -2. So then I roll for damage on Perry. Huge damage. 6 damage. Oh my goodness. Poor Dr. Doofenshmirtz. Yeah, apply. He's down to 2 health. That really knocked him out. Which I don't, once again, still pretty new to the rules. I think there is stuff about like injuries, and if you take more than a certain percentage of damage on your turn, like stuff happens. I think like shock. I think that's a thing when you suffer injury, reduce your yeah. I don't know if any of that would matter right now, but that's a lot of damage he just took. But at this point, you know, Perry swings at Dr. Doofenshmirtz. He tries to dodge, misses. Perry lands a punch. But at this point, Dr. Doofenshmirtz has already fired the laser at the tree that they are in the tree house of, and that tree becomes sentient. Dr. Doofenshmirtz is telling this tree to get Perry. I don't think he's probably not doing much else on his turn. Maybe just like running to the other side of the room. He's like, get the platypus. What is Perry doing? So Perry is going to have to try to, I'm going to add in between them around for this tree that's now sentient, that they're kind of inside of. Well, they're in a tree house that's like on top of it, but regardless, yeah. It's going to try to grab Perry. He's going to have to do an acrobatics check. Try to dodge. I don't know. Sure. That's a success. So this big like tree hand comes like inside the tree house, try to grab a Perry, and Perry just like dodges out of the way. He goes to the Perry goes over to the Hykenator and kicks it. He's gonna kick it out the window. And let's just do a sharp claws kick. That's not good. That's a 15. That's a failure. He kicks it, and he does kick it, but it's not enough to move it. He's just trying to push it out the window. It's pretty like bolted in place. Dr. Doofenshmirtz sees what's going on. Tries to stop him. She's just gonna try to straight up punch him. I don't know. Have him actually try something here. Whoops. That's a success on his part, so Perry could try to dodge. Missed, so Dr. Doof is actually going to just punch Perry the Platypus for a single point of damage. Nice. Back to Perry, and I think he's just going to try to do another... Actually, it's the tree's turn again, because the tree is between those two, and he's going to try to make... try to grapple Perry again, so Perry needs to do another dodge roll. He's not going to be able to keep succeeding these. He barely made that. This tree this time, like both hands, tries to grab him, but Perry barely dodges. And then I'm going to have him try to do another... just like a strength check, or I just want to push the thing out, which I would maybe say... maybe he's just going to try to slash at it with his claws. I don't know. That's fine. It's all the same. More or less. Okay. That's good. That does hit. How much damage does he do to the thing? He's just trying to destroy it at this point. So he slashes at the Hykenator. It starts sparking. And he does enough damage to that just kind of falls out the window. And on the way down, it fires off into the distance. Unbeknownst to them, it hits a patch of vines that is underneath this giant trampoline that Phineas and Ferb are building. The vines start coming up and around the trampoline, and the meteor hits. The vines attach. The meteor gets bounced into space, and attached alongside of it is a giant trampoline. Perry, was seeing this machine fall out, also jumps out of the treehouse. The treehouse is still sentient, After the machine explodes, is it still sentient? I don't know. I'm gonna leave it unsure. I don't know. It is. So Perry escapes. Dr. Doof is still in the treehouse that's in this sentient tree. And I don't know. I'm trying to think of what could happen here. But maybe like the machine, when it gets destroyed, like the tree is sentient, but I don't know. It messes with them. That now, I don't know. Maybe it's just making them turn on Dr. Doofenshmirtz. There's probably something better for that, but I can't think of much. So we'll just say that they just turn on Dr. Doofenshmirtz, and now this tree is just like trying to get him inside of the tree house, and Perry just runs away and goes down the river and ends up near Phineas and Ferb, and they're like, "Oh, there you are, Perry." And he does this little growl noise. And that's that. That's roll credits. That's episode 2. Okay, that's what we're gonna wrap up for today. What did I just click? So that was GURPS. Like I said, I know this is very, very different from any of my normal RPG playthroughs. Hope you enjoyed. I definitely did. I think it was fun trying to just play in like a different setting and establish characters and kind of have like an episode arc. And I don't know. I thought this was a pretty fun little thing to try, and using Mythic to try to just help inspire what Phineas and Ferb are up to and what Dr. Doofenshmirtz is going to build and why he's building it. Like I thought it went pretty well, and some of the stuff was tough to come up with, but I'm pretty happy with what we landed on. Yeah, hopefully give you a feeling of what GURPS is like. I'm still very new to it, but I like it. It really does work well for, I guess it's generic. You can really use it with any system you want. And I can see how if you start adding more modules and expansions, like just keeps adding more content, that this just becomes a more expansive game that you can really make any kind of characters and play, get way more in detail with combat if you want it, and add spells and magical abilities. Like I didn't do anything with magic or innate powers here, but that's like a whole book in of itself and kind of a whole separate thing that I just didn't even want to mess with my first go around with this. But yeah, overall, I mean, I like it. The character creation is interesting. I like the point buy system. I much prefer that for character creation. I like the idea of the advantages and disadvantages. I think it's very interesting for character creation. That these didn't really come up too much today, but I can see how they could be pretty fun things to, especially like to help. What's the word I'm looking for? Like help dictate what your character does and have it for more like kind of maybe just more role play stuff. But a lot of it does give you like mechanical stuff for like rules to make and whatnot. But I think it's fun. And yeah, I could definitely see myself returning to this, probably doing a different setting next time. But I just wanted to try something different because, like I said, I've done plenty of RPGs that are fantasy and a good amount of RPGs that are sci-fi. So I wanted to do something more modern day and thought this would be a fun little experiment to just try something different. So yeah, but I thought GURPS was pretty cool. I like the D6 system. Rolling under is fine. I get in some cases why it's better. I mean, maybe because D&D was my first system that rolling dice, it's just natural that I feel like a higher number equals better. Like, oh, a 20, that's crazy, that's good. But I get why they do it this way, and it makes sense. And I mean, I like the D6 systems. So yeah, I liked this. And I gotta say, the Foundry module, this was my first time. I mean, I played with it a little bit over this last weekend, but the Foundry module worked great. And GCS for creating characters made it way easier. I mean, I had a printed out back there, but like I had papers printed out. I was ready to create my character on paper. And the more I was watching about how character creation is done, the more I'm like, yeah, I don't know if I want to do this on paper. I'd rather just do it on like a computer program. And then, especially when I figured out that there's a Foundry module, I was like, okay, well, I'll play on Foundry. And then I figured out, oh, with the Foundry module, you could directly import your characters from this character creator. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to do it that way. So yeah, I should have Most things are linked in the description if you want to check out GURPS or GCS to create characters, or Foundry, or this Foundry module. All that should be in the game links in the description if you want access to any of that. But yeah, I had a good time today. Hope y'all enjoyed. So before hopping out of here real fast, I will quickly talk about what's coming up on the channel this week. So I actually posted my schedule to my Discord. I have a Discord server. I'm gonna get better about that, and to do so, I actually posted like my schedule for the entire month there. Did that earlier today, so because I normally plan my schedule out pretty far in advance. So my video for coming out this week is I'm gonna be returning to Gloomhaven, the digital version. I played it a couple months ago, and it was fun, but I did very poorly. I didn't even make it past the very first scenario. So I want to give that another go, see how that goes. Next Solo Gaming Sunday, I will be also returning to another game I played a couple months ago, semi-recently, which was I Was a Teenage Exocolonist is the name of the game. It is a space sci-fi RPG, choose your own adventure kind of game, but there's also like a cool little card battle or mini game in it. I really enjoyed it. I only played it a little bit for a video I did on it, but I wanted to at least give it another shot, do a stream where I could get a little bit deeper into the game and play a little bit more of it. But I enjoyed what I played of it so far, so that's what I will be doing next week. And I have an extra video coming out this week. So for those that don't know, I do have a YouTube membership that you can join. So if you want to help support the channel, you can become a YouTube member, what I call a tabletop titan. And there's two different tiers to it. And that's a way to help support the channel for me to get stuff like a new microphone. I got this through the money I've made off this channel. All money I make through this channel, whether ads or membership, will go right back into the channel. I'm not pocketing any of it. I'm not using that money for anything else besides making this channel better with stuff like equipment or stuff like that. I'm not using that money to buy games. That's not what that money is going to be used for. It'll be used for stuff like this, like a new microphone. That's what I'm using the money for. Getting new overlays, new emotes, new whatever, new cameras, new mics, new cables, stuff like that. Anything that directly improves the stream or is directly streaming related is what any money I get will go towards. And with all that being said, I mean, I don't really talk about that I have YouTube memberships much, which maybe I should. But one of the benefits you get with it is you get access to videos 24 hours early. And I did that because I really didn't like the idea of doing member only content. Like, I made this channel to make content for everybody. And I felt kind of weird putting content behind a paywall. However, YouTube is doing a bit of a program right now where they will essentially give me like a bit of like a bonus of just some money if I post a couple of member only videos. So I'm going to be posting 2 member-only videos over the next couple of weeks. The first one will be coming out next week, and I didn't really want to make it a gameplay video because that just felt... I don't like the idea of putting like actual gameplay content behind a paywall. So what I'm going to be doing instead is a behind-the-scenes video. So that's what's coming next week, is a members-only behind-the-scenes video where I will show you anything behind the scenes related. I can show you what my setup looks like when I'm recording with my top-down camera. I can show you my desk setup. I could talk about any software I'm using, any of the mic technology. If you want to know any of that stuff, anything behind the scenes related, I will kind of talk about and show off my recording software, editing software, and anything and everything behind the scenes related is what's going to be coming on next week's video. So if you want to see any of that, and also if you want to help support the channel, then consider becoming a YouTube member. You can do that by clicking the join button that's like below the video. There's also a link in my description at the very bottom that says like want to support the channel. So consider doing that if you want to help support the channel, because like I said, the money will go right back into the channel, helping get stuff like equipment and, you know, like down the line, maybe like an editor, like stuff like that. So And now you're going to also, if you become a member, either tier, you'll get access to these members only videos that I'll be doing, with the first one coming next week and the next one coming the week after. So yeah, that's all I got for today. I think there's anything else I need to talk about. No, that's it. So, all right. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hold on, I can't do this without my outro music. Hold on. There we go. Okay, there we go. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the stream, as always, a like is always greatly appreciated. And until next time, I'll see you. Have a good week, everybody. Go build some cool innator and hope that Perry the Platypus doesn't stop you, because that's gonna happen.
Everybody making plans and hoping they gon' be alright. Well, ain't that how it goes with all of our goals? I think it's okay to not have it all figured out, and